Hello and welcome to the stream. It is December 17th, 2023. We are setting up for the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show pre-show and then go into the show itself later. Hope everybody is having a good day. It's been a day here. So sit back, relax, start getting your coffee or your food and your other drinks and that, so that you can take and be a part of this. Look forward to it. Gonna have a great time. All right. Hello, Cecilia Adams, over in the Kick Chat. Thank you. One of my best mods, always with me, especially on show nights. Love you, doll. Trying to get everything set up and ready so that when we get our folks in here, we will be cruising. Give me a few minutes and I'll be right there to check up on all the chats, going around making sure that stream's going out to everywhere that needs to be. Wrapping up the year here pretty soon. This is going to be our last live radio broadcast of the year, most likely. For Sunday, we have one more live on Wednesday, so hope you all come in here and check that out, or any of the other daily streams that I do on some of the other platforms. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and so do all the folks who go through me to take and be a on air. You know, I love producing. It's one of my favorite things that I like to do for my shows and my hosts, and take some stuff off of them too. So we should be good to go as soon as they come up and start calling me up and say, "Hey, Mark, I'm ready to go." Or, "Hey, did you know?" Yep. Excuse me. Got a little bit of allergy stuff going on here. Hey there, Nikki. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's right. Down with all censorship. But don't forget, Sunday night, we usually have some comedy going on. Appreciate each and every person that comes in here. The Nikki's over on Live Space, and she's probably in Kick as well, support me. She's like one of a huge major supporter, and I love her to death too. You know, because she's just a great supporter, and she's the one that actually got me to come over to Live Space. So thank you, Nikki. Right now, we are going out all over the place. We are on Kick, Live Space, Twitch, Twitter, X, Rumble, Odyssey, Facebook, and YouTube. Look out. Yeah, we're on YouTube too. And there's probably, Josh UTV, can't forget that. That's where I started out streaming the video streams that you're hearing and seeing right now. So I do appreciate when you guys and gals support there as well. Thank you very much. Let me check my folks over here. Oh, yeah. And they are on time and alive. Join that call. Gonna join the call. Hey, how's it going? Barry! What's going on there, big guy?
Here, bro.
Got your bullhorn and everything out?
Yeah, man, I'm ready for tonight.
All right.
As always, man. Most every night, man. I'm pumped.
All right. Let's see.
Give me 1 second. I got to turn off the stove, man. I just made some matcha tea.
All right. Let me flip some switches here so that folks know that we're not just standing by now. You know. There we go. Hey, when are you gonna take and put up your an avatar, buddy?
Okie dokie, man. The tea is done. I found a brand that I actually like because, man, I tried so hard to like matcha tea, and I couldn't like acquire a taste for it. But then I found one that had sweetener in it, and it's better.
I don't know. Matcha tea tastes like dirt to me. Sorry.
It does, dude. No,
like
it does.
Dirt.
I found one with sweetener in it, and I don't know. They got the mix to where it's like it's tolerable. It's tolerable. I'm not going to say it's great.
I looked at prices earlier.
Hey.
Hey.
Well, it's not great.
Matcha tea.
He was saying, go ahead. Yeah.
Matcha tea tastes like dirt.
Hey, he's kind of right. I mean, it does. I mean, it's like super healthy for you. But I found a brand that's not bad, and I can tolerate it. The other brand's just like, it's like way too strong.
I don't know how my kids can drink it. They love it, and that bubble tea crap. I don't know. You know, hey.
Yeah, that bubble tea is a scam.
I don't know what bubble. I don't even know what bubble tea is, man. Huh?
It's some Asian, like it's some Asian shit that's like it's got little like bubbles in the bottom of it that they're like little round jelly kind of things that when you bite into them they release flavor.
Okay, so it's kind of like they're like a pop it fizzle. Remember those things you used to put in your mouth and they'd fizzle?
Oh no, it doesn't fizzle or anything.
Pop
it's
rocks,
like
pop rocks.
No, it's nothing like a pop rock. It's just a little.
I'm just being facetious, man.
Gelatinous ball full of liquid that syrupy and they're just a rip-off though. They're like it's a way to double the price of a cup of iced tea, you know.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, you got to be a dink
triple,
if you're like I was watching a dink video today, and they were like, "We're dinks, so we $8 for a latte every day. We love it. We're dinks."
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're just a woke tard. That's what you are.
You're just a dumbass. You're just a dumbass. You're gonna look back on that and say, "Wow,
Yeah, why? If they make that much money, why aren't they saving? And then they could
Yeah.
retire. They could retire by the time they're 40.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
And then they literally could have $8 lattes every day if they wanted to, forever, for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I watch those
What's up with that? You know,
videos.
it's December. We're supposed to be drinking hot chocolate and stuff like that, and coffee. Lots of coffee.
It was like 64.
I love
It was
coffee,
64 today.
man.
It's nice and warm in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I think we got up to about 70.
Oh, see, that's like super warm. 70 for this time of the year? I mean, we might as well be wearing shorts, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I could wear shorts if I wanted to today.
Oh, you could have easily at 70. I mean, I left with a heavy jacket, and I was basically, down to a T-shirt by the time I was out of church today. I was like, man, how did it get so hot so quick?
Yeah, you got a T-shirt on, and well, not a T-shirt, but a button-down short-sleeve shirt with jeans.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. Yeah, well, 70 is like actually the best weather. I mean, I prefer kind of the spring type weather than the super hot weather.
Yeah. I think 70, like 5 is the ultimate sort of temperature.
With a little cool breeze, like every now and then. That's like not massive wind, but a little breeze every now and then hits your face. You're like, yeah.
And that's San Diego year round, right?
Yeah, Nikki Toot comes in and over on Live Space, and she says, "Down with censorship." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we like to hear that.
That's right.
Down with
Unless
the
she's referring to me
censorship, Eddie.
personally.
Down with the censorship.
Don't you just love how the Democrats are? I watched a compilation video of all the fake news literally talking about if Trump wins, blah, 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 insert insanity. And everything that Biden is doing is exactly what they're accusing Trump is going to do. I mean, it's going to be the end of the world. He's going to declare literally martial law, and it's insane.
No internet. Take down the internet. We don't need it.
Oh, man. I mean, I think that the fake news, I mean, when you watch it, and I'm not a Q person at all, and I don't believe it, but it seems believable, like what Yotivation says, it's all just a movie, and it's all being scripted. Because how could they be that ridiculous? Now, I get it that they really just are that ridiculous, but I see why people buy that it's because it looks like one. Look at it. I mean, that doesn't look normal, them talking about Trump like what they're doing literally right now, arresting, they're going to throw people. He said they're going to run people up and put them in FEMA camps. And this is like, they're the most radical conspiracy theorist out there. I believe that was the dude that's married to Brzezinski's daughter. I can't, Joe Scarborough.
Brzezinski's daughter. Yeah, Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, they married.
Joe, yeah.
He married whatever her name is, something.
Mika.
Mika, yeah.
Brzezinski.
Mm-hmm.
She probably kept that last name because it's gold in DC,
Probably is her ticket in wherever she needs to go.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a video of her hissing like a reptilian, too, out there. It's worth watching.
All right, we got Elvis tonight for breaks.
I thought he had already left.
Really?
I thought he already left the
I
stadium.
put Elvis in tonight for breaks. Elvis Christmas music.
Really?
Yeah, Elvis Christmas music in
Wow.
for breaks tonight.
Elvis has not left the stadium. He's with us on the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be doing his Christmas favorites, such as, Mark, tell us what he's going to be playing tonight.
Lots of things.
Blue
Christmas? Yeah.
Gonna be one of them.
Perhaps some of the sacred classics that he did so well as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I despise Christmas music with all my heart and soul, but I don't mind Elvis.
I like Elvis. For Christmas
Okay.
music, I do.
I love Christmas
Elvis Christmas
dude.
music's cool. It really is.
I
Yeah,
hate
come
it,
on now.
like, with
Santa
all my
bring my
heart. So all
baby
the
back to
commercials-
me. Come on. That's real cool stuff,
all the
man.
commercials are what drive me nuts, man.
Oh yeah, I learned to
that
appreciate
shit.
it all over again because I don't watch the TV set anymore, and I have to see all the. And also that ruins Christmas because all you see is you hear all the Christmas fake joy that they try to produce to get you to buy something. Though that's what that's all about. They're nice. They're only nice because they're trying to get you to buy something, and they're only having pleasant music because they want you to buy something. I mean, it's all a scam, man. Christmas is the biggest commercialized scam ever. I mean, in fact, almost every business is on the Christmas sales. That's why I've said before, they'll never kill Christmas. They'll just try to secularize it and make it, instead of, they'll want to make it like the holiday season and just say, well, don't say Christmas. Christmas is bad. It's offensive. Just say holiday and have a holiday tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. The retailers, without December, that's when they make their profit for the year.
Yeah, they hang in the balance until that happens, and some of them don't go into the profit zone either. And I guess that's probably becoming more and more true with Amazon sales and eBay sales and online sales, increasing every year. And the brick and mortars are going out of business. They're not, the small business people have never come back from the shamdemic to begin with. So, and basically people really don't like getting out anymore. There was a poll that came out about, I think it's millennials. They have what's called menu fear. When they go to a restaurant, they have a menu anxiety. They can't actually order from the menu because they fear actually having to speak to the waiter or waitress.
Yeah, well, that's a you problem,
A what problem? A you?
It's a them problem. Yeah, like,
yeah, it's just weird though. That I mean, it's like they're so isolated that they don't even know how to connect with a stranger. Which, man, I'll talk to anybody pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? Merry Christmas, man. What's up? How you doing? Open the door for people. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I want to spread the joy.
I enjoy eating out. So I mean, my only problem with it is my only anxiety I get is when I look at the prices of everything nowadays.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Jesus,
Yes, that's the only. It's price anxiety. I get that. $18 for a combo meal at McDonald's.
It's, a salad in a lot of places now. You're looking at $15.
Oh yeah, they give you that little Mac
salad.
they call a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a picture of the fish fillet, and maybe the guy had big hands. I don't know, but man, it barely fit in the palm of his hand. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they charge the same, but the items keep getting smaller and smaller. They do that with the drinks and the beverages too. You notice it used to be half a gallon, then it's 64 ounces, then it's 56, and then it's just everything's getting smaller but the same price to keep the illusion that you're not paying more.
Yeah. Yep, they do all kinds of tricks. Shrinkflation, they call it.
Trickflation.
There you go. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a real term, dude.
Oh, it is.
If not, it should be.
It's either a real term or I just made it up on the fly, and
I
I'm
think
really good
it
at that.
sounds good. Let's just stick with it because
Let's just go
you
with
heard
it.
it
Yeah.
first on the pre-show here.
Yeah.
Officially.
We don't have to be like completely accurate in the pre-show.
Yeah.
No.
Then we get everything wrong later, right? No, that's not how it works. Thank you, everyone over on Rumble who take and listen to us but doesn't chat in the chat room. Thank you.
Yeah.
We enjoy your support.
They're the silent supporters.
The
We love
silent
that.
supporters. That's right.
That's a real thing too. I just made it up on the fly as well.
Yeah. Guys are awesome. Love it.
Also known as lurkers.
Now, CS, they're gonna all leave now after you said that.
Not derogatory or anything. It's just is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like it has a negative connotation to it. The lurkers, the leeches, the
Now,
stalkers.
see, when you use other words like that in terms, yeah, then people get a little upset. It's like,
Yeah.
hey,
We gotta welcome them, man. You don't have to speak out. You know what I'm saying? They probably speak out every day to other people. They just suck in all the information that we're giving them, and they go and spread it to other people. They save it.
Exactly.
They
They're
save
busy
it. and
taking
save it.
notes. They're taking notes, so they can't really chat because they're busy taking notes.
I love that. I love that about.
I bet you're glad. I bet you're glad that your name isn't Pinocchio right now.
I got a black pen, a blue pen, 3 different highlighters, 3 different color highlighters to mark everything.
Oh yeah.
There he is digging around again, always trying to act like he's busy. See what I'm saying? He's got to add the Foley effects to make everybody think, oh, he listened to him prepare before the show. He's literally, taking notes, highlighting things, and
Or rolling a couple smokes.
I was gonna say probably it's just you rolling a couple of smokes, but I didn't want to.
I'm just doing loud shit that I don't want to do on the air,
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Get it out
I
of
can
the
do
way
some
now.
ASMR myself if you want, but I know that really annoys you guys, so I'm trying to cut back. Here's one for you. There you go.
Okay.
You know what that was?
Bag of chips.
That was packaging for a computer cable.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got another one here. ASMR. Guess that
Oh my
sound now.
God,
You ready?
really?
Here we go. Here we go. Shh, shh, shh.
We could have fun with this. This could be like a segment on the show where we make crazy guesses.
Yeah,
about
only
what the hell
on
you're betting.
Wednesdays. All right, on that third hour. Like, hey, I think we ran out of stuff. Mark, do you have any more breaks lined up? But Barry, time for the ASMR stuff.
Here's another one for you. You ready?
Oh,
Guess that noise.
I'm not sure if we are or not, man.
That would be a Dollar Tree plastic bag.
Wow.
I bet you never would have guessed that.
I don't think we'd ever guess any of these. That's the point of it. That makes it so fun. That, like,
Here we go. Let's try one. Let's try one last one here. Let's see if you can guess this one. This should be pretty easy. Are y'all ready out there in Rumble Land? Here we go. Get ready.
Rumble Land.
You're
All right,
walking.
did you get that?
You were walking. You walked. Footsteps.
Wrong answer. Mark, would you like to take a swing at that one?
No, I wasn't even paying attention, thank God. Anyways, we got about 10 minutes.
I'm just going to leave you all in mystery then. I'm not going to tell you what it is. See how it is? See, you don't want to
We
play
want
my
to tell
game.
you.
I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to be wanting to know the whole show. What
No,
it
I
was.
won't. No, I'm not like
Well,
that.
we do have 10 minutes, don't we?
Yeah.
Where's Yo?
9. I don't. Oh, she said.
8.
Is she on? She's traveling again, right?
Oh, is
Is
she?
she?
I think maybe
Huh.
she is.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I can't remember if she said something about last week or not.
She might have. I don't know.
I was thinking
I never
that
take
maybe
notes.
we weren't even having a show tonight because nobody was in there. I was like, somebody's always in there at 7:30 today.
You know what happened is I was trying to go in there and Skype just wouldn't let me in the room, so I had to restart everything, and then it let me
Oh,
in.
did you get the updates?
Yeah. Last week I got some sort of an update where my UI is all different now.
Yeah.
It was actually a minor improvement over the previous UI, which is like, damn, you actually
Did some.
slightly made something not worse. Wow. I'm shocked, Skype. You've never done that in your entire history of updates.
Who owns Skype? Is that Microsoft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Good old
Microsoft,
Bill Gates, man.
Before Microsoft, Skype was really a cool program.
I mean, since he owns it, we should speak probably pretty good about Bill. Talking about how he's such a vaccine expert, and we should give him more power to rule the world because he's so knowledgeable at everything. Being a medical doctor, a PhD, a shrink, a psychologist. I mean, he's just so well
Oh, he's a farmer.
versed. Huh?
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer now. He's farming all that, fake meat and everything, and that GMO artificial food. What a wonderful man. A true philanthropist. Loving, kind, caring, and compassionate. I think those are the first words that kind of come to my mind about Bill Gates.
God damn. That guy's hauling ass over there.
Cheers to Nicky Tude.
A guy's running?
Huh?
No, a truck was driving by on the road near me, and he was doing, I don't know, like 50 down some dirt road over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just hauling ass.
I thought maybe you'd seen like Bolt. What's that runner's name? Bolt? That guy that runs real fast?
Hussein?
Usain Bolt? I don't think. Is that his name? I don't think it is.
Hey, Barry, when you gonna
It's
take and
something
put
like
up
that.
an
Usain or
avatar?
something?
Come on. You need to
I'm
get an
missing-
avatar, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Let me change that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, before I came on here, I was just watching that South Park episode where all the kids start up a wrestling organization.
Mm-hmm.
It is so funny, man. I forgot how funny that one was. They have the actual wrestling coach, and he's like trying to teach them real wrestling, and they're like, "I'm gonna call the cops on you, man. You're just a pervert. Like, what are you doing?" Because he gets him down on all fours, and then has Butters get behind him and mount Cartman and put his arm around him. He's like, "What is this?"
What are you talking about? I missed it for some reason. What are you talking about?
South
Wrestling?
Park, man.
Oh, the one.
Yeah, that episode of South Park.
Oh,
where
yeah.
They get into big time wrestling.
I thought maybe you were talking about the wrestling going on at the Senate between that Democrat staffer and.
Oh God, don't make me sick.
Hey, remember what I said behind the scenes before? I said the next step is people just outright having sex out in the open. I said that, remember? I said the next stage, and I'm not saying that's what that is. It's pretty close, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty damn close.
Yeah. And he's.
I mean, that was like a.
Do what?
That was a major room there. It was like a major hearing room,
Well, he didn't need to videotape it. I imagine there's at least 2 or 3 dozen cameras in that place, right? I mean, I'm sure that's totally surveilled, right?
Yeah. Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, oh, and I knew it. I was telling people, I was like, telling some friends I was talking to about the story. I said, you watch, man, they're going to cry homophobic, man. When anybody complains about it, says how ridiculous it is. And now he's like, I'm going to, the guy that, the staffer that got caught, he's like, I'm going to sue for this homophobic. And they fired me because of homophobia.
Well, the raccoon is loose. The hounds are chasing him.
Have you ever noticed the left never takes responsibility for anything? It's just always everybody else's fault. And I'm going to sue you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for it. See how well that works out for you.
Well, somebody will probably embrace him and say, "Oh, you're so right. We've got a cush job for you. We're going to pay you $250,000 a year. Help us spread the woke agenda."
Mm-hmm. Your little butt up in the air.
I guess, man. I don't know. Well, what's funny is at least the Democrat guy that he worked for said, "Hey, you are immediately fired," and that is the end of the conversation about it. He's done with it. So most Democrats would be like, "What is wrong with you people? I mean, obviously he took a little bit too much liberty, but don't be so homophobic."
Yeah.
So I was surprised that he said, "You're fired." I can't even believe it. I mean, they remember the woman that was doing porn for to raise money for her campaign. I mean,
Oh yeah.
They all garnered around her, supported her.
The hot wife experience.
Yeah, and she barely lost. She barely lost. She probably would have won, I think, had that not have happened. It was enough to turn the tide, but still she barely won, according to what I've read in the newspapers and in the media. It's a very close
I mean, they
call.
tell you sex work is work, you know? I mean, they always tell you that.
Yeah, but if Boebert did that, it would be a different story, from their opinion. They would say all kinds of horrible things about her, how disrespectful she is, and blah blah blah. But they wouldn't say that about their own. I mean, at least have some consistency in your morality and in your values, whatever they may be.
That can't happen.
No, not on the left. No possible way. No possible way. That's why that guy from Black Lives Matter is now supporting Trump. He said that it was the duplicity of the Democratic Party that made me leave, was one of the reasons. And that's happening everywhere. The hypocrisy and the duplicity, I believe, are the exact words that he used. Quiet, man. Are we getting ready?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just...
What's going on here, man? I mean,
I'm just
I
scanning through this article here to get some stuff out of it before we go live.
Yeah, we will go live here real soon.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Like 30 seconds?
Uh-oh. I am prepared. CS is prepared. Mark is prepared. The audience is prepared. 10.
And get ready for a countdown because here it comes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're live and on the radio side right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Censorship Table Radio Show, Sunday night edition, where we sit down, have fun, hang out, go through all the news that's happening in the world of any relevance to anyone out there, and really just have a good old time. Tonight I've got with me Bullhorn Barry, as always. How you doing, Barry?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. I just noticed, man, you're really strong with the energy coming off the gate like that. I'm really impressed.
Oh, yeah, you like that?
I do. I like it a lot, man. Strong energy.
The alpha energy is what I'm trying to bring to the table here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. Did I just hit a link in this thing? Yes, I did. I love it when I do that. I got one article up I want to talk about, and then bam, I accidentally hit a link, and suddenly I'm staring at a completely different article that I don't have in my feed, and I don't know anything about, and I'm wondering why I'm looking at that. So I had to hit the back button, and there we are, back on track, right where we need to be. Folks, there are some scary things going on in this world.
Mm-hmm.
The kids today are not all right. Harvard-Harris poll just, did a survey of a bunch of people, 18 to 24 years old. The majority, 51% majority, think that Israel needs to be dismantled and all the Jews need to leave, and that Israel should be given to Hamas. Now, there has never in world history been a state of Palestine. Okay? Palestine as a state existing in anywhere near that part of the country, world has never been a thing. Ever. Never. There's never been a state of Palestine. Before it was Israel, it was under British control. Before that, it changed hands umpteen million times. Romans come to mind, you name it. But Israel is mentioned in the Bible. I can't too many times to count. Mm-hmm. too many times to count. It is a very, very holy place for the Jews and the Christians. Bethlehem. Bethlehem. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. We're coming up on, and you hear about that. Well, that's in the West Bank now, right? So one of the most sacred places for Christians in the world is probably somewhere that I would not recommend any Christians try to go to.
At this point
just going to, at this point in time, definitely not. But even a year or two ago, I would have said, hey, probably not the wisest idea to go there. It may be me. I, try to avoid places that don't want me there.
That might be dangerous.
Yeah, that might be dangerous. Where you can go in there, you look at somebody wrong, and boom, you're in jail for life or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to Russia in the 80s. I wouldn't. There's a lot of places. China today, I probably wouldn't really have much of an interest in going to. It's not worth it. There's so many better places you can go that aren't scary. I mean, if you really want to go to an Asian communist country, Vietnam seems very welcoming.
Okay. Well, and there's places in America that are kind of not safe either, or even like areas in cities and stuff. My friend was just in New Orleans, and he said he was getting ready to. He'd never been there before. Him and his wife were visiting, and the police stopped him and said, "Oh no, you can't go in that way. That's too dangerous. That you might get killed in New Orleans." There's dangerous areas, and thank God for that police officer warning him because he was just a tourist, right?
Yeah, I was working in Chicago, and my younger sister was coming out to visit me with one of her friends, and they decided to walk to my office, and the walk took them right through what's known as Cabrini Green, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was a very famous ghetto in Chicago. And, a cop saw them walking down the street and said, "What are you girls doing?" They were like,
"Don't you know?" Yeah.
Like fresh out of high school, at that time. He's like, "Get in the back. I'll take you where you need to be." And walked him right up to my office and told me what they were doing, and I was like, "Oh God!" Like I told you not. Like you have to get a cab over here. Don't even take the bus. It's not. You don't want to be in this neighborhood. But yeah, no, big parts of America are like that as well. But the point of this survey is to just show how kind of warped the brains are out there. Because if you think they're going to give up Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and all the work that they've done for the last 70, 80 years that, has made Israel what it is today, that they're just going to give all that up and then go where? What, move them to Texas or something? Move them to Florida? Boca Raton? Just say, hey, go to Boca Raton, you'll be fine. That's where all the Jews go. No. Not going to happen. It's never going to happen. In fact, they're never going to leave. So when they chant from the river to the sea, it means
it's an absurd idea. It really is. I mean, and I don't know where they're getting fed that idea. I mean, it's really a kind of a massive form of hatred.
I watched Mark Levin last night on a show, and he brought up this video of 4 different students, Jewish students from the University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, MIT, Yale. I can't remember exactly where the 4th one was from, but you get the point. Ivy League institutions, and each one of them said it is frightening as a Jewish person to walk around campus. It's scary. They say they cannot, under any circumstances, wear a kippah, that little circular hat on their head, or a Star of David, or any of those types of things. They can't do it.
Yeah.
You're going to get harassed, maybe attacked, who knows, but it's not going to end well. One of the guys mentioned a friend of his who hasn't really even left his dorm room in the last couple of weeks because it's too scary to go.
Yeah. And it's funny you're saying all this stuff because I just made a post on social media today speaking that basically the agenda for the globalists and the social engineers, right, the nefarious ones, their goal is to take the divide and conquer to a new level. That means much more identity politics. And we're seeing that now with this anti-white racism that's just really like becoming almost systemic in certain areas and in some ways.
Yeah, it's TikTok, too, is really the big driver of this. Yeah, and that's China-owned. And China wants to divide America in every way they can.
Absolutely.
These kids today talk about the oppressor and the oppressed. Oppressor, oppressed. And they look at this situation, they see, Israel as the oppressor and Hamas as the oppressed, the terrorist organization Hamas, a terrorist organization. In the U.S., in major parts of Europe, they all agree. Most of the civilized Western world has said, yes, Hamas is a terrorist organization. So when they're spouting, from the river to the sea, they're talking about supporting a terrorist organization in the destruction of a country of, I don't know how many, 10 million people, let's call it. Huge numbers. It's a disgrace for our country. And, England is no better either. It really isn't. There's a lot of Jews in London right now, especially London, that are considering going to Israel, moving to Israel. Imagine living in London, and it's so bad that you think right now, today, you're better off going to Israel, which is in the middle of a war, than you would be staying in London.
Yeah.
Because at least there, they've got a government that will defend you.
And not to get ahead of you, but just kind of speaking along the same lines, man, they're gearing up to do the same to Christians. You can see that happening now with this, they call it Christian nationalism. And there's a whole documentary coming out. It's called, what's it called? I can't think of it, but it's a whole documentary about, white Christian nationalists and how evil they are and how they want to bring in martial law and totalitarianism and authoritarianism, which is the furthest from the truth. But, they got to make a documentary about it and divide us even more. And if you think all of that kind of talk is just nonsense. I mean, look at the propaganda that's coming out in the movie industry right now. We got that new film coming out called Civil War, which is basically pitting Democrats and Republicans against themselves in a civil war scenario, which is a horrible thing to do during such a volatile, and divisive time and vulnerable time in our nation. And then you have that other film by Barack Obama, who was the producer of the film, Leave the World Behind, is all about cyber attack that's coming and white people are bad. And it's just all about dividing people and making sure that we don't come together. That is what that is about at the end of the day. And you have to understand that that's them giving us the bait. Just don't take it.
In that Obama movie, there's a quote from one of the trailers I saw that said, "You can't trust anyone, but especially not white people."
True. That is a fact.
Say it out loud in the movie.
That's what I'm saying. We're seeing the anti-white racism at a higher level than ever before. It used to be kind of subliminal, used to be at a subconscious level. Now just outright and in your face, Yeah. The hatred is just horrendous at this point. Yeah,
it's coming to terms here. It's getting to a point now where they're celebrating the fact that white people will very soon be a minority in the United States. Fine, right? I don't really have a problem with that, as long as the people that we bring in are assimilating,
have American values and believe in freedom. Is that too much to ask? Of course it's not.
They become part of the melting pot, where we're all the same. I mean, 50 years ago, there were signs Irish need not apply, right? Well, probably more than that, but you get my point. The Irish were enslaved as much as any other colored people anywhere around the world. The Irish had it rough over here, but today, no, not so much. You wouldn't think anything of an Irish person sitting next to you in a restaurant, but 100 years ago, that was a big problem. So the melting pot, everyone sort of assimilates. And even today, I still stand by the statement that America is probably the least racist country in the world.
Well, every nation has their culture, and they're allowed to have their culture, but not the Western civilization, because they want to collapse the Western civilization. They want to basically bring in their liberal world order, their dystopian green agenda, where basically you'll own nothing and love it and live in a panopticon prison planet. Yeah.
Japan is one of the most homogenous countries in the world. They've taken in like 5 Muslim refugees in the last couple of years, like they really no, thank you. We're good. And nobody looks to them and says, hey, it's a real problem that Japan has so many Japanese people in it. Your culture is
There's no problem with Muslims. I have no problem with Muslims. The radical ones, like the jihadis, like in, I forget what place it was, somewhere, I think in Europe, maybe it was Germany, where they had a big Christmas tree and a bunch of jihadis destroyed the Christmas tree. They said, this is our land now. No, that's not how you come and assimilate, In America, we have Christmas. In America, we have Christmas trees. Okay. And if you can't deal with that, then maybe you don't need to be here. Maybe you need to be somewhere where, your values are more, fitting for you.
Yeah. Well, the ceasefire people, the people that want that ceasefire immediately. Well, no. FAFO, we talked about this before. You mess around, you find out. The ceasefire now is just a way to say, hey, let's let everybody regroup, and they can do it another October 7 here in another month or two, and then we'll start this all over again. Ceasefire, again, in March, they'll be calling for a ceasefire after this all happens again, and we're right where we are now, So, no, that's not going to happen. This needs to be ended. Israel has just announced that a two-state solution is completely and totally off the table. Will not happen. They've tried, I don't know, half a dozen times over the last so many years. Since 2000, I bet there's been 5 proposals at least for a two-state solution, and they've rejected every single one of them because they don't want a two-state solution. Right? And now Israel agrees. We don't want a two-state solution. It's not going to happen. You can annex the West Bank maybe into Jordan, and off you go. Like, just put a wall up around it, and you guys stay on over there, have fun. We'll be over here. We'll see you around, But Joe Biden's still pushing for that. Lindsey Graham today was pushing for a two-state solution. These people need to wake up. That's not going to happen anymore. And, do I like it? No, but it is what it is. Even Bill Maher the other day.
I would comment more, but I just don't know enough about the area. So, yeah, you probably know much more than I do. I know that I don't want escalation of war, and I don't like war, and I would like for it to come to an end. That's pretty much my overall stance. And I think the only reason they don't come to an end is because people don't want them to come to an end. They benefit from them. So I think that if Trump was the president, there would be some resolve in the situation, because he was really about brokering peace in the Middle East, which we need. And that's why a lot of Muslims actually like Trump, because they understand he doesn't just want to go indiscriminately into bombing, nations in the Middle East and, nation building and all of that. Trump always had the mentality of, hey, you go to war as a last resort. And then if you do go to war, you go to win it, and then you get out. You don't stay there forever and put your troops in there and, cause more problems and overthrow dictators and put in a worse dictator. That just is not the American way. So I think a lot of people in the Middle East, including Israel, Netanyahu said Trump was the biggest Israel supporter ever when Trump was the president.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. The U.S. presidents and their hands down. There's nobody even.
And yet they called him an anti-Semite all the time. It was ridiculous. And now we find out it was the Democrats that were actually very anti-Semitic. So it's like we said, and we tried to tell you this was a projection, them projecting who they are onto their opposition, an old Saul Alinsky tactic, a communist tactic. And a lot of these Democrats on the far left are communists and socialists. And who wants that in America? That doesn't belong in America. That doesn't belong in America any more than the satanic Baphomet monument in a state capital.
In Iowa, yeah. I totally agree. And, you'll love this one. We've seen all these protests where they try to shut down the 101 in Los Angeles, or the 110, I forget which. They went up into Toronto into a Christmas setting inside one of the malls there, and all these Palestinian flags. They were up basically harassing these little kids in line and screaming and chanting. And again, you'll love this, that Jesus was a Palestinian. No, he was a Jew, a Yid. The life of Brian. I wish I knew that, all those lines up. I'm a Jew, a Yid,
Just, I don't know where people get their facts, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the word Palestine wasn't even invented anywhere within 1,000 years of Jesus being a Jew in Israel, in what was an occupied Roman Israel,
He came from the line of David, of King David.
There you go. So, a Jew. And everyone knows that. I mean, that's just not a made-up thing that I'm coming up with. That's straight up out there, and every piece of modern culture and religion and everything that you'd ever look at. There's no disputing that. And, would they say, okay, well, was he a Jew? Like, do you want to kill him too? I don't know. I hate to get into this too much because it's so divisive, and it really kind of ticks you off when you start hearing about this. But I will say that Bill Maher did a phenomenal about 10-minute monologue on this whole thing that I listened to earlier today that really sets it up well and explains everything going on. And I mean, we've hit on most of what he hit on. And it is what it is, folks. We need to rally around this and start having those conversations with kids. If you've got an 18 to 24-year-old college student in your home, especially if they go to an Ivy League school, man, you better sit down and straighten them up. Have a talk with them and explain to them exactly what is at stake here and that they are on the absolute wrong side of history here. Crucial.
And then a lot of times, they're violent, and that's not acceptable, man. You can have your opinion. That's one thing, but you can't be inciting violence,
Yeah.
Or, cornering people like they did to Riley Gaines, in one of the university, locking her, not letting her out.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. I mean, these are violent type of things. And of course, yeah, they were violent towards her as well. I mean, she felt very threatened. And I think that's why she locked herself in one of the rooms, because she felt like they might beat her up or kill her.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley Gaines, of course, the swimmer who was against having the male on her team.
Yeah. And now because we've allowed that.
And...
Now because we've allowed that, there's like a 54-year-old man now who's competing with 14-year-old girls, and he's after the competition, he's going into the women's or girls' locker room. That's just unacceptable, man. I mean, a 54-year-old man is not a 14-year-old girl. Understand, folks, that is the definition, a textbook definition of mental illness.
And to be in that locker room trying to change in front of them, that is just disgusting.
It's not just disgusting, it's creepy. It's super creepy to be a 54-year-old biological man and changing in the changing room with 14-year-old girls. I got a problem with that. And if you don't have a problem with that, I got a problem with that, because you need to have your head checked.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely a problem. I couldn't agree more. It is disgusting. It's vile, and the guy needs to be arrested, basically. I mean, he's already, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
arrested. Yeah, he was already in there once. That's enough for me to say, yeah, you broke the law, buddy. And I don't care what the swim coach said, you could do it or not. I don't care. That's just not cool. But anyway, before we move too far off the subject, it's related. This is from Red State. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin expected to announce international coalition to protect Red Sea shipping. So the Houthis off of Yemen, which really is just part of Iran, right? They are completely... Iran doesn't have much of a military, so they go out and support groups like Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah in Syria, and let them fight for them as sort of proxy agents. And so they have been blowing up all of these, attacking. They've seized a couple major ships. This is 10% of the world's shipping lanes go through the Red Sea. So it's a big deal when they're not safe to do so. And you would think that every major Arab country in that area would be completely behind the United States to put together this group of warships to go out and stop this from happening. But, they've got to go into Yemen now. They're going to have to go into Yemen and fight these people on the ground on their home turf. None of us want to see war, but you can't just shut down all the shipping that goes through there because you want to bomb everybody and just start indiscriminately sinking shipping vessels and force people to not do that, but to go around the Horn of Africa instead, which adds 12 days or something to the travel Yeah, I can't imagine how much more gas it takes to go all the way around Africa than just to shoot through the Suez Canal, and on and on. So, that's what the Marines were originally invented to do, or created to go do, to defend these ships in the Mediterranean from, Muslim pirates that were out there saying, hey, our birthright basically to go and attack these ships, take their goods, and claim them as our own. So we said, no, we're not going to let that happen. We can't let it happen now. And it is happening. And it's a real problem, especially when you look at a little country like Yemen and think, what, you guys are going to do this? Really? The Houthis? How many of you out there have even heard of the Houthis before all this stuff started going down?
Is that a rock band?
No, it's it's like Yemen's sort of militia, I guess is maybe a way to look at it, that are, totally supported by Iran, funded by them. They've got all these drones and you name it. And, it's sort of like, it's right on the other side of Somalia. We Somalian pirates, well, it's just the other side of the strait from there. It's just Yemen. And, that is part of the, how do I put it? It's just part of the problem. But again, Saudi Arabia, the neighbors to them, and they need to just go in there and say, no, we're not doing this anymore.
I think that everything is being overseen to make sure that, like I said, when this attack first happened, to spread out the Middle East war, that is what Drudge Report reported. That's what many other the mainstream media pundits reported. That is their goal. That is their hopeful expectation, in my opinion. And of course, I think it goes beyond that, even World War III, because they're saying you either fund Ukraine or we're going to send your troops over there. And then you have Zelensky saying, no, don't fix your roads. Don't do anything, America. Don't take care of your problems. You give me all the money or else your soldiers, your American men and women will die. Have over here. It's bribery. It's ridiculous, man. The wars have got to end and we have to have peace again. And like I said at the very beginning of the Biden administration, I said, he's going to take us to war because he's a war president, because he's a neocon. He's a neoliberal. These people love war and they make sure that it happens. That's not to say there's not bad players involved, like you're pointing, but they make sure that the fires remain stoked and they make all the wrong decisions so that it escalates and becomes bigger and bigger. That's who the globalists are. Seeing it all. Biden is a globalist. Most of his administration are globalists. In fact, they've been around for a long time. A lot of people in this administration.
Yeah. And like when he backed Ukraine so heavily, why? Why did we throw everything we had at Ukraine to the tune of hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that we don't have, by the way? We don't have that money.
No.
We have to print it out of thin air. And that's why inflation's so bad.
And again, that's by design, too. They want to keep printing money so that the dollar collapses. I mean, that is their inevitable goal. You can't tell me that they don't understand that $33 trillion in debt is not going to end in a collapse at some point in time. In fact, they're adding to that debt daily. And you have Yellen of the Federal Reserve saying, oh, no, American can fight 2 wars at the same time. And I heard now they're talking 3 wars at the same time. And while our country collapses, we're just forking out money to everybody else. We never even fixed the problem with the small businesses that were lost during the shamdemic. We didn't even take care of that. But then Biden gave money to Ukraine to help their small businesses out. Folks, this is everything but America. Make America last again. That is that is his goal.
And the world sees what's happening here. They know that our recruitment in the Army, all armed forces, is down double digits. I want to say it's down like 17% in the last year alone because of all of this woke stuff that they're cramming down there. Who wants to go and fight for an army when they're going to reprimand you for not using the right pronouns for your whatever, right? No, that's not, no one that is of that mentality is going to sign up to be in that environment.
Or force you to take vaccinations that are dangerous that they know actually are killing people.
It goes on and on, though. I mean, this is part of the problem here is that we are looking at some of the least readiness we've ever seen with our military today. They're talking about trying to do a sort of an emergency get out the recruitment push to really encourage people to start joining the armed forces because we're in such dire straits. Yeah, they're claiming we can fight on 3 different fronts right now. The world knows we couldn't fight on one.
Isn't one of their recruiters a transgender woman for the U.S. military? I mean, what man is going to identify with that? What man is going to identify with that? Because, I mean, think about it. War and fighting and killing, that's a very masculine thing, not a feminine thing.
Yeah, I would guess most of them are like that. But, you know, it is what it is. And, folks, we're just sitting here in a situation where we're waiting to watch all the cracks get deeper and deeper and divide our nation more and more. Yep. And there's not a whole lot, you know, even when we get Trump in next term around, he's going to have to just absolutely change everything. He's got to undo so much damage for us to even potentially be on the right track. Let's say 5 years from now, 6 years from now, when he gets out of office. And we have to pray to God that Donald Jr. gets in right behind him, runs and gets in there right behind him.
Oh, yeah.
So that, you know, so that we can be assured we've got another 8 years behind that. Because
exactly.
If people aren't sick of this right now, and really, you know, we're seeing black vote for Trump is up in the mid-20s now, which is unheard of.
Depends on what polls. Some say 49% of black voters, the Rasmussen one. So, and it's very accurate. I found that the Rasmussen was way more accurate than, and it was the only one that predicted correctly that Trump was winning. And of course, the mainstream media says, "Oh, Rasmussen, that's conspiracy theory," but that's because they're accurate. That's why it's conspiracy theory. Anything that's accurate and truthful is conspiracy theory, according to the left. It always gave me sort of the numbers that were more optimistic towards Trump and whatnot, so I always kind of leaned on them thinking they were more accurate. But then in 2020, were they? I don't know. Maybe they were the least accurate because Trump, quote unquote, lost. You know, did he lose? Yeah, I don't think he lost, but that's okay.
Right? Yeah, well, but, you know, all the CNN and all those guys that said Biden was going to win ended up being, quote unquote, right. So they got that going for him, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep saying, hey, that he didn't win because that really ticks off the deep state. The deep state, you know, pretty much put Owen in solitary confinement for free speech and not having any remorse for believing that the election was stolen. Well, I don't have any remorse for the election being stolen. I do believe that the election was stolen, and I will continue to push that rhetoric everywhere I go. In fact, I'm making a T-shirt right now about it.
Good. Yeah. Now they're going after a reporter from The Blaze who happened to be at, you know, January 6th on that day. And he was in his capacity reporting on that, and they're going after him. Let's see what happens. Apparently, you know, they could be in real serious trouble and looking at felony charges. They're talking about a grand jury, which doesn't come into play for misdemeanor.
But let's clarify. He wasn't violent. He didn't go into the Capitol. He basically is a reporter just reporting. How is that a crime? I mean,
I think he did. I think he did go in the Capitol.
No, he did not. No, he did not go in the Capitol.
He said he was like one of 60 or so people that were reporting there that day. I could be mistaken, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure that from I've read this a couple of times. I'm pretty sure he did. You might be right, but I'm pretty sure that he did not go into the Capitol. He was just reporting, and that's why I found it so odd when I read the article. I was like, what? But see, they're going after anybody these days. They think they can go after anybody, right? And I said a long time ago, before even Alex Jones was, you know, being sued for defamation, I said, you watch, they're coming for truthers now. Anybody that's telling the truth that has influence and power, they're going to come after you. They're going to find a way to charge you for something. Yep.
And it's disgusting. It is what it is. And meanwhile, you know, let's, we got the time here in the first segment. Let's talk about what's going on at Capitol Hill here, too. You know, the things they won't go after you for, right? There's a staffer for Democrat Senator Cardin who was basically caught in one of the Senate hearing room, in a hearing room. Yeah, like a big hearing room.
Where they listen to testimonies and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Filming himself with another man having sex, you know, full on home, you know, scoring, right? The whole 9 yards.
A home run, basically.
Home run. Yeah, yeah. Not first base, second, like all the way to home. In filming it. Not just, okay, you know, they hooked up or whatever and they were discreet and nobody saw it. You know, he's filming it and putting that out there. And now he's saying what? He's going to sue everybody because, they're just gay bashing. It's only because I'm gay. Well, no, it's only because you're in there making a porno in what Cardin himself said was such a sacred place. When 9/11 came down, this was the most sacred hall in the world and sacred and honor and all that stuff. And little butt stuff in there. And I mean, the picture of this guy with his butt up in the air, it's just yuck.
Surprisingly, though, the Democrat that he worked for, the rep that he worked for, he said, you're fired immediately, and that's going to be all we're going to say about it. So I'm surprised that, because most Democrats they would support and say, what's wrong with you? Are you homophobic? How dare you question, him, taking a few liberties to, make a porno film in the Senate chambers. I mean, and the Democrat, I do commend him for firing. I mean, it makes sense. He's very upset. The guy that got caught, he's upset. He's, like you said, he's going to sue, and he's getting attorneys, and whatever, man, whatever.
Good luck getting an attorney who's really going to look at you and say, yeah, you've got a case here. We're going to take
you never know
down.
These days. There probably is a case, because you know how they are. They just go ahead and declare someone innocent or guilty without even a trial these days. Look at Trump. Look at Alex Jones. You are guilty. Now I want the jury to determine what is your penalty going to be.
Yeah, and I remember there was a junior congressman that came in a few years ago and said that he was invited to some orgy with cocaine and all that stuff. And
some guy, he was a Christian Marine or veteran or something like that.
Exactly.
He was paralyzed too, I believe.
Yeah, and he came out the other day and just said, yep, this is what I was talking about, folks. It's everywhere in Washington. Everywhere.
Oh, they went after him big time when he said that, called him a wild conspiracy theorist and stuff. But why do the conspiracy theories keep manifesting if they're just conspiracy theories? I mean, if you want to talk conspiracy theories, listen to the left saying that if Trump wins, he's going to send people to FEMA camps and he's going to declare martial law and start arresting people. No, that's what Biden is doing. That's what the Biden administration is doing.
To be fair, I don't think the FEMA camps are, Gitmo is not a bad idea for some of these people, for sure.
Well, if they've committed a crime, and it's proven to have committed a crime, of course. I mean, we know that anybody that commits treason would stand military tribunals. We learned that with the Brett Kavanaugh deal when Lindsey Graham asked Brett Kavanaugh about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and these are some of the stuff. What we had. Hunter Biden come out the other day and say, hey, I'm going to ignore this subpoena. And Eric Swalwell was there by his side, right? Mm-hmm. That they're looking at bringing sanctions against Eric Swalwell because, of course, when Steve Bannon tried to miss one of these things, he said, lock him up, right? You can't just ignore this. This is a desecration of our greatest, powers in this country of Congress and the subpoenas. And
they laid on thick, don't they, when it's the opposition?
Yeah.
They laid on thick.
Yeah. But then he stood next to Hunter when Hunter said, no, I'm not going.
Yeah. And it's exactly like we were talking about before the show, man. It's exactly why people are leaving the Democrat Party, because of the duplicity and the hypocrisy. That's why we were talking about the Black Lives Matter leader. I believe it was in New Jersey or somewhere in that area. He said he was leaving the Democrat Party because of that very reason. And he was 110% for Trump.
Yeah. So I don't know, folks. It's one of those scenarios where we've got a country here that's just on the verge of having so much problem.
That metaphor, I mean, the Biden birthday cake is like the perfect metaphor. He's literally
isn't it?
Torching everything.
I don't know if anyone out there saw the meme of Joe Biden's birthday cake, but it looked like a 5-alarm fire.
Oh, yeah, that definitely would have triggered the alarm in my house. The smoke alone would have triggered the alarm.
No, it was a 5-alarm fire, and there was that one meme where it just showed him standing in front of that, and then there was a little guy from that cartoon that said, "This is fine,"
Yeah, everything's fine. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Where it's just not. There's so much rot in this country. It's coming down from so many different directions. And we need to clean it up, man. We need to clean it up. We need higher birth rates in America. We need more religion. We need more laws. Well, we don't need more laws. We need to enforce the laws we have. We need to crack down on all this thievery. These cities that are just losing everything. I mean, New York is losing so much money now because they spend so much money on immigrants, illegal immigrants, that they can't even support their police department. San Francisco had to close down their reparations department. Can't afford it anymore. Wow, what irony! What irony!
Here's. Go ahead.
Like here's a department that wants to spend $15 trillion in the next few years just for California reparations, and we can't even keep the lights on in there. Where are they going to get $15 trillion to give everyone, that knew anyone? And California wasn't even a slave state. I mean, it wasn't even populated when slavery was a thing.
I mean, it's like they don't ever. We've talked about it before. They don't ever have any real solutions, right? I mean, I like. There's a real obvious solution with criminality. Okay, you got to be somewhat tough on violent crime, but then if
Absolutely.
they're going to get out, we should make it mandatory that they get reform while they're in prison. Yeah, that would cost a little bit more money, but like 80%, I think it's 80+% or somewhere in that ballpark of people that get let out commit the same crimes over and over again. So we end up paying more by not helping these people to reform, to learn a trait, to, be educated while they're in there. I mean, that should be part of their punishment. Is that you're going to learn how to be a human, a dignified human being again, and you're going to learn to, as you were talking about earlier, become a part of society.
Yeah, I mean, woodworking, I don't know. I mean, it's dangerous to give all these guys, hammers and whatnot when they're in jail. But at the same time, they need to build a skill while they're in there. They need to learn something, an apprenticeship of some sort that they can come out of there with a tangible skill. They can walk up to a job site and say, hey, yeah, I just got out of jail and I, focused on this in jail and learned this trade. Will you hire me? And he said, oh, yeah, some of my best people are the guys that just get out of jail because they go through this program and learn exactly how to work on a construction site. So hop on.
I know of people that have gone to prison and basically studied to be an attorney. I mean, they got all that time on their hands. They just read, and then they get out and they become an attorney or whatever. I don't know if that's possible for for felonies or what have you. But it is what people make of it. But we need to make it to where, hey man, if you want to be released, and maybe even have a little bit early release if they go along with the program properly. There's real solutions, is what I'm saying. Defunding the police, letting them out, for doing violent crimes, all of that is just nonsense and only going to make the city collapse even worse, right? I mean, and we need to have good police officers. We need to have them properly trained. I'm actually kind of for the, all the camera equipment on the police officers too. That holds them accountable as well. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, we just need to do things that work.
On that note, we're hitting a break here, so let's go take a quick break. Folks, we'll be right back after this message.
All right, we're on radio break.
All right.
Yes.
And who do we got that jumped in here?
Hey, is that a Yoda-vation?
I was trying to figure out who's GU.
Guest user.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I got
What's up,
kicked
yo?
out of my Skype account, so I finally decided I'll start my own account. And then, of course, I didn't have any of the links, so thank you to Sick of the Lies, who gave me the link to get in here. My gosh.
Okay.
I messaged
Well, you should have spoke
Wednesday. Huh?
You should have spoke up when you got in here.
Oh, come on. I didn't want to interrupt. But
Oh, you wouldn't have.
did you get my messages at all? Because it doesn't look like you did.
Through Skype or through what?
Mine's.
Through Mine's. Mine's direct messaging? No, I wouldn't have got those. If you added me, I probably could have gotten those. Or if you ampersanded me.
Oh, I just did tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet then. I check my notifications maybe every couple days.
Well, guess what happened?
What?
My mother-in-law fell and she couldn't get up. So we got to her in 16 minutes and took her to the doctor, and she broke her wrist and she fractured her back, and she's been staying with us ever since then. That was Saturday.
Okay.
And that was the Wednesday show. I was going to try and make it in Wednesday night, and I messaged you Wednesday afternoon to let you know that wasn't going to happen. And then tonight, luckily, I got her all taken care of so I could sneak down here and do the show with you tonight.
Excellent.
Glad you're here.
Well,
man.
I mean, not excellent. I'm glad you're here, but it's not good about your mom. When you said, "Guess what?" I thought it was going to be good news. You're like, "My mom fell down. She couldn't get up." It's
Mother-in-law.
like, wow.
Mother-in-law, didn't you say?
Yeah, my mother-in-law, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oy, oy, oy.
I know, man. It's like a lot of people are suffering during this time. I was just standing in the line listening to some lady talk about somebody who died in their. It's just like, I don't know, man. A lot of death, man, and that's just what the numbers show too. The insurance actuaries and everything else. I mean, it's skyrocketing. The death rates
I
are
got an article
skyrocketing.
about that. Yeah, the COVID fatalities, like related, are still coming in strong.
Yeah, did you see that Matthew Perry? They are attributing it to ketamine side effects.
Yeah.
That he had enough in him, like for.
Well, that would be heart related, which could be also jab related, because he's a big opponent of. He even had a T-shirt, a Friends T-shirt made promoting the jab.
Mm-hmm.
Could I be?
I really
vaccinated?
believe. Yes, could I be? It was the name of the T-shirt. And when you look at a guy like Matthew Perry, you have to say to yourself, I think he actually, that the vaccines helped. I don't believe that it's a mass conspiracy with everyone, that they know better and they just go along with it because they, don't want the peer pressure. That is the case with a lot of people, but some people they just don't know. They actually
30
trust.
seconds.
Megan Kelly trusted the vaccines, and now she regrets that.
But in Hollywood, though, you'd never work there again if you said anything against that. It's Hollywood.
Yeah, but would he have really taken it if he knew it was Russian roulette?
Some of them would. That's how they get there.
Get ready for the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Round Table Radio Show, Sunday night edition, where we just got a super special guest joining us here during the Yotivation Nation. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm late, but I'm here, and I'm so happy.
Well, it's great to have you here, as always. You being so happy makes me so happy.
Yeah, I did get to listen to a little bit of the show earlier. I was sad that I missed out on the part where you're talking about the guy that, had the sex, in the Senate hearing room. Oh, yeah. I was waiting to talk about that.
Well, what do you got to add to it?
Well, I just never have had so much pardon? I was going to say,
I just was asking you what you wanted to say.
I never had so much gay porn on my my notifications ever. This guy his butt is everywhere. And I can't believe that he's pulling out the victim card.
Yeah.
His victimization is a figment of his own imagination.
Delusions. We call that delusions where I come from.
Yeah, that's just so sacrilege too. I mean, he was in a holy place pretty much, as far as like, if you're working there, that is the halls of Congress. That is a congressional hearing room where history has happened, and I mean, that's just gross, man. You can't be doing that there.
I think he was being disrespectful to his workplace. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, try working for any corporation in America and pulling that off in a conference room somewhere.
Oh, man, it's just the craziest days. I'm telling you, I can't believe that we even are talking about it. It's it happened.
Oh, I saw it, reading it in Breitbart.com, and it had some sort of warning that it was obviously probably had something blurred out. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to see that. I'll read the article, but I am certainly not. I saw the still frame, and that was enough. On the video that they had up there. Yeah, I was like, that's too much already. I don't want to see any more. But I did read the article, and like I said before, man, on the trajectory of this degeneration that America's under, it won't be long before people are just having sex out in the open in front of people. And if you don't like it, they're just going to say, "What's wrong with you, man? Go somewhere else. Leave us alone. We're trying to have sex out here in public. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, we're living in a reverse reality.
And so let's go to France here while we're talking about sacred
Underpants.
places. Notre Dame is obviously one of the most holy and sacred places in Europe, if not the world. And file this under, I called it back in 2019 when the fire happened that they were going to try to rebuild this thing in a woke way that would be embarrassing and gross and just really just urinate on the sacred holiness of this place and just put it to shame. Macron is looking to replace the stained glass windows of the cathedral with new modern ones that will be made in modern fashion. They're going to have a competition of artists to see who will be the winner, and they'll install them in 2025 as his plan. Now, mind you, these stained glass windows, once he's talking about, were not destroyed in the fire. Okay? They just need cleaning, good to go. Anything that we can salvage from the original building should be salvaged.
Yeah.
Anything that wasn't salvageable should be replaced exactly the way it was.
And I mean, you could argue that's a historical piece of art because it's been around for a long time. That's like something you would want to keep, right? That you would want to make sure stayed there because of the history.
You would have a duty to keep it there. You know, that's not like you want to. You have to. There's no question about that. You have to keep that stuff. Anything that you can salvage and keep in place, you're duty bound to do that. If you're not going to do that, then you're pretty much desecrating.
And who knows if it's going to be any good? Because think about it, man. They're going to have all these people competing, but they're not going to give it to the person that has the best artwork. They're going to give it to someone, you know, based on inclusivity, equity, and all that nonsense. So it'll probably be the worst piece of art out there just because it's not going to be based on who put out the best art. It's going to be based on the wokeness.
Dude, if it was like Lucifer, you know, I would be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I could see them wanting to take a picture of Lucifer and put it up there. That's just the way these guys roll.
It'll probably be cobras.
You get it, though. I mean, it could be anything. They could any levels of depravity to take something, put it in one of the holiest places in all of Europe. By all means, needs to be protected.
Well,
beyond
Macron
belief.
never complained when the churches were being burned down over there. You know, like a dozen of them, like you know, kind of right after one another. And so, you know, Christians are the next to be persecuted. It's the Jews today. Tomorrow it will be the Christians. They already hate Christians enough as it is. So, and I say that probably even more so in Canada, because they were the ones that arrested the pastors that refused to lock down. They said, hey, we're still going to have service. We're still going to worship God. And they arrested that one guy, Pastor Arthur. What's his name? Yotivation, his last name?
Pawlowski, I want to say.
Oh, yeah. They took him and arrested him, harassed him. They arrested him more than once. And they did it in a humiliating way as well. They made sure that they humiliated him and drove him in the highway in front of everybody so that everybody that was driving by would see it.
Yeah. You know, they're at war. They're at war with religion.
They're attacking religion. I remember what you're talking about. And that was pretty eye-popping at the time that it happened. We were all like, did you see what they just did to this guy? Because they kind of like hogtied him on the highway. And it was like they were definitely making an example. They would love to get rid of God.
Western gods.
Yes.
You know, there's some religions that are going to be absolutely immune to this because they dare not take them on. You know, but Christians, no problem.
Oh, yeah. And you can say whatever you want about Jesus and Christians, but if you say something against another God, you know, that somebody might worship, that's a problem. You know, I mean, and look at the art that comes out about, you know, I can remember one of the art that got so much praise by the establishment. And I hate to even say it because, you know, I reverence Jesus and love Jesus. So, but they made a piece of art out of, you know, the cross out of urine. I mean, it's just like they do everything they can to basically mock Christ. And then they go, oh, it's a beautiful piece of art. No, it's not. It's hideous. It's no different than that guy that was selling his paintings like $30,000 or I think maybe $30,000 or $50,000 a painting for poop enema paintings. And people buy that stuff. Why? I don't know. It's bizarre.
I'll tell you, if I can get 30 grand for that, I can put one of those out every morning, you know?
I'm sure there's an art to it, though. You're missing it. CS, you don't understand. There's technique to that. Do you understand? Not just anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody have a paint enema. Okay, this is special and unique, reserved for certain people, like a Picasso.
You come by every morning around 9 a.m. I'll have one ready for you.
I mean, we joke, but this is the world we live in, folks.
Yeah, it's kind of scary stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
You have to laugh, though, because if you don't laugh, it will have you mad. Completely. Sometimes it's better to laugh than to cry.
I agree. It's better to laugh than cry. But yeah, some religions are absolutely off limits and some are basically have at it. You know, and they're just waiting for Christianity to get down to enough of a minority in this country that they can full on go after it and just call them all this. I mean, they already have. With the Orthodox Christians, they FBI embedded in many of these churches out there, undercover, trying to find that are quote unquote dangerous. Well, you're barking up the wrong tree, guys. You're barking up the wrong tree.
Remember during the shamdemic, some of the leftist areas were demanding that the pastors give them their sermons before they preach them to make sure that they were politically correct. Not biblically correct, but politically correct. Remember that? That's a real thing that happened. Oh, yeah. And that's the kind of tyranny that they want to bring us to where they control every aspect. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of mobility. All your freedoms are freedom to eat meat, freedom to, have choice.
All of it, yeah. Remember when they were trying to, during COVID, they were trying to just have service in the parking lot. They set up a system where they could broadcast over like short range to the radios, right? So, you pull in this parking lot, tune into this channel, and then you can all park the same direction and look up at the preacher up there, and he'll give you the sermon. No one leaves the cars, nothing, and yet they shut that down and tried to arrest them all. Yeah. Well, unbelievable.
Actually, the church I attend right now, they were going to have a drive-through service at the drive-through, and they just and at the last minute they changed, and he had a rooftop service, and they said, if you do that, we're going to arrest you. And he said, arrest me. His name is Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer, and they did not arrest him, but they threatened to arrest him. But that's because we live in Oklahoma. We live in Oklahoma in the Bible Belt, so they didn't. They knew that would not look good to arrest a pastor, so they didn't. But they certainly threatened him.
And they wanted to. If they thought they could get away with it, they would have. But folks, we've got to go to break. We'll be right back after this.
Sorry about that. We're on radio break. Yeah.
Okay.
Windows got stuck.
Great job, CS. Good transition out quick. You were on your feet. Quick thinking.
Yodavish, I heard you wanting to speak up there at the last second, though. Sorry.
Yes.
Good job. Forgive me if I cut in. I apologize.
That my parents live in upstate New York, and they did go to church services sitting in their car, and they also didn't want them to sing.
Oh, yeah. That's a no-no.
In your car. You can't sing. No singing in the car.
Yeah. And wear your face mask.
In your car. Just shocking.
It was crazy.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And no communion as well, they said. No communion. No, all the things that are important, basically. Praise, worship, communion.
No touching
fellowship,
each other.
Yeah, no fellowships, no
shaking
hugs.
hands, no hugging.
Oh, yeah. And that's why people are still jacked up. People have never still come out of the isolation. A lot of people. I'm not saying everybody, but they just still living an isolated life, man.
Yeah.
It did great damage. Locking people down did great damage. You have to have great willpower and strength during times of trouble. And Americans has some of the strongest people in the world, but we also have some of the weakest people in the world because of social engineering. And that would probably be the younger generation. They just don't have the backbone that we have. And I don't mean to be mean about that, because they've just been socially engineered to be that way. They would be strong if they had been socially engineered in a positive way.
Well, if you think about it, we all lived before the internet, and most of those kids were born after the internet. They were kind of born into a different type of brainwashing. We were all born into brainwashing, but they were
True.
born into brainwashing on steroids.
Yeah,
Just constant programming.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
And lies. You know, how many times do we have to catch them in lies before people realize?
Mm-hmm.
You know, before
And they
they'll
like the lies.
admit.
I think people like the sweet little lies. Like the song says, tell me lies,
They
tell me
do.
lies, tell me sweet little lies.
That is correct.
She passed away, the writer of that song from Fleetwood Mac, I think last year or the year before, sadly. Like a lot of bands, they were infighting, you know. Now, I think Daryl Hall and John Oates are now fighting, and they always fight, man. You know, these band members. If they're not fighting, they're getting charged with some sexual assault they did from 2003. Well, I think that's wrong. I mean, but I don't doubt that they probably did do some. I was reading some stuff about Tommy Lee, the allegations that he did on a helicopter with his helicopter pilot. It's totally crazy, man. I mean, if true, I don't know if it's true, the allegations, but it wouldn't surprise me with the way they, you know, live their lifestyle, you know. And once you get to that, where you have that much money and that much power, you just think you can have whatever you want, you know.
Yeah, and it also seems like you have to be the most extreme, you know, like being just normal extreme isn't good enough. You have to be the most extreme.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want to play the role as well, you know. If I'm going to be a rock star, I want to play the role of a rock star.
Bad boy, yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So the drummer from AC/DC just died yesterday.
Wow.
67. I consider that young, you know. Again, I'm just, you know, I don't know how much, but I think a lot of it is the jab, because we've never seen so many. And yeah, 67 people died. 67. That's true. But and maybe he did drugs. A lot of rock stars do, and that might have attributed. But you look at Keith Richards; he's done all kinds of drugs. He's still kicking it, but in his 70s.
The alcohol killed COVID.
So
and
does nicotine.
And the
Nicotine kills
pot.
COVID. I don't know about that.
Nicotine supposedly does, yeah.
Yes,
That's why people
all
that
of those
smoke,
things do.
people that smoke didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that most peculiar?
Even Doc Chuck says, if you're thinking you got COVID symptoms, go get yourself some nicotine patches and just start slapping them on.
That's what artist talks
But,
about.
you know,
I can't think of his first name.
nicotine is in a lot of vegetables, too. One of the highest concentrations of nicotine is found in, eggplant.
Eggplant.
Yeah, eggplant. Yep.
Interesting.
Outside of tobacco.
I did not know that.
Yep. And it is an integral part of your system as well, because there's nicotine in our body all the time, no matter what. Yep.
Well, that's why
That's right.
cannabis works so well, too, because of
But-
the cannabinoid.
But the thing is nicotine isn't the addictive part. It's what they spray everything with that's nicotine product with that's addictive.
Yeah, they add stuff to the tobacco. To control the free-base nicotine. And they even do that in Europe, which Europe was supposed to be more natural tobacco, but that's not the case. They control the free-base nicotine to make sure that you stay addicted. That's why a lot of people, they just went to the Native American smoke shop, because it was just raw, and they didn't have that problem. Buy the tobacco, roll it themselves.
You know, some of the Native American stuff, they have more than just tobacco in there too. There's willow bark and all sorts of other stuff that's mixed in with it. Yeah, it's different. You know.
I'll tell you, weed's gotten so cheap that like a lot of the people that had grow rooms in their basement, they're better off just growing tobacco down there nowadays. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but smokes are like $10-12 a pack out here.
Oh,
I
jeez.
I just bought a can of tobacco for pipe, and a can usually lasts me a little bit more than a month, but that was over $50.
Okay.
That's a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
money for pipe tobacco, and
Yeah, that's about what,
can-
$1 a day?
that's rolling up
Or a
almost as
couple dollars
close
a
as
day?
cigarettes. What is it?
Yeah, I mean,
For a carton of cigarettes, it's almost that much or more.
well, pre-rolled cigarettes. Yeah, I roll my own, so I mean, I pay
Right,
I don't know, $14 a pound for tobacco,
right.
and a pound will last you a month. So I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's like if you roll your own, they're like 50 cents, 25 cents a
Yeah.
pack.
Or if you get cigars, you want at least to have a cigar that's at least $1.50 to $2 to get a decent cigar for a daily smoke. But hey,
Yeah.
we're not promoting tobacco here or anything else. Sure,
It's good for you.
You're smoking. Smoking.
Cures COVID.
I say that because I smoked, when I did get COVID, I didn't get it as bad. I probably would have.
Now you sound like those people that got the vaccine. I'm so glad I got the vaccine, even though I had a heart attack, a stroke, and
30
Bell's palsy.
seconds,
It
folks.
would have been worse.
30 seconds, folks.
Damn.
Goes by quick.
Yeah.
Where's Willie?
I don't
No,
know.
Willie?
He may show up. You never know.
Okay.
By the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Here's the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Round Table Radio Show. Tonight we've got with us Bullhorn Barry. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I am so stoked because Yo Telvation Nation is here and you're fired up, she's fired up, and I'm fired up.
Woo!
All right. Is that true, Yo? You fired up?
Heck yeah, things are getting really exciting right now. It just seems like every day you wake up and there's something new being revealed. It's like something is happening. Change is in the air. It feels like Trump. I can't wait for him to get back in there. I just am so excited for what the future will hold with him.
Absolutely. And I've got a quote here from Town Hall that is kind of shocking, right? Let's see. Town Hall, quote, more than 20% of voters who used mail-in ballots in 2020 admitted that they participated in at least one form of election fraud. A new national telephone and online survey by Rasmussen Reports and the Heartland Institute finds that 21% of likely U.S. voters who voted by absentee or mail-in ballot in the 2020 election say they filled out a ballot in part or in full on behalf of a friend or family member, such as a spouse or a child, while 78% say they did not. 30% of those surveyed said they voted by absentee or mail-in ballot in the 2020 election. 19% of those who cast mail-in votes say a friend or family member filled out their ballot in part or in full on their behalf. That's illegal. Furthermore, 17% of mail-in voters say that in the 2020 election, they cast a ballot in a state where they were no longer a permanent resident. All of these practices are illegal, Heartland officials noted. So, wow, 20% of mail-in ballots. And remember, some of these states, like Colorado, for instance, is 100% mail-in. They will mail a ballot to everybody. Everybody gets one.
Wouldn't that alone count? Just that alone, what you just said, that would be voter fraud right there.
Well, yeah, this is very illegal. To have somebody in your family fill out.
If anybody says that the election wasn't stolen, how can they say that? That alone is voter fraud.
And they're admitting it. They call them up and ask them, did you do this? You go, yeah, I did that. We needed to. Worse than Hitler, right? We had to get him out. And that's the thing. You spend 4 years telling everybody that Trump is worse than Hitler. Then if you have to cut some corners here and there, you work in the post office and you see a bunch of these ballots that are coming from this country club area that are all Trump voters. Well, let's lose those. Let's throw them in a ditch somewhere.
Well, how do you have the most transparent, the most fair, most secure election ever if there's voter fraud going on? Just answer that for me. Just answer that.
Right.
You can't. They fortified it too. Remember, fortified was the word they used.
Oh yeah, I remember that
too. And remember,
and then Arizona.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah.
I was going to say in New York, shipped by post office ballots across state line to Pennsylvania. Also, there were so many things that are peculiar and anomalous.
Yeah,
and they say
that one
there's
guy
no evidence.
Said I had all these. I forget the specific term he had for these little boxes that held the ballots, but he had a truckload of those things. And he gets to the place in Pennsylvania and says, "Hey, somebody sign off on this so that you can say you received it." And nobody would do it. So he goes home, comes back the next morning. Please, somebody sign off on this. And the truck's gone. And they say, "We don't know what you're talking about, basically. Go back to New York and don't raise any questions." So he, of course, comes out and starts talking about this. And
didn't he lose his job over that? Didn't he lose his job and harassed? He was like harassed by the FBI and all kinds of stuff, wasn't he? Something like that.
I wouldn't doubt it. I can't recall. It was 4 years.
I know the media went after him. The media doesn't like whistleblowers.
No, they sure don't. They really don't.
Unless it's on their side. And whenever it's on their side, it's always used to some bogus deal. You know what I'm saying? Some fabricated manufactured thing.
It's like a Vinman or somebody that's manufacturing it, and then they wouldn't even allow you to say his name on social media for a long time, right?
Alexander.
Remember that? It was like, you can't even mention the guy's name. You'll get banned just for saying this guy's the whistleblower.
And he and his brother got fired after that, but they didn't go too far. They just moved over somewhere else. But they're part of the problem. It's far-reaching. People are becoming aware. We've been through so much, and now that we're finally going to be able to go over the actual facts through discovery, things that we haven't been able to talk about, people are going to get a broader perspective and a better understanding of what we live. And hopefully those people will finally have, the veil just removed and they can see. Because if you're missing those valuable pieces of information, your belief system just allow you to change the way you think. And like you said, censorship, they've been programming these people, Russia, the hearsay impeachment trials. They've been pushing the message that President Trump is an evil man. And that part is just true. He is the most incredible president that we've had in especially our lifetime. We had the greatest economy that we've ever had, and President Trump is saying that he's going to do that again, and I'm very excited. I can't wait. I believe on day one it will happen because he'll completely reverse these nonsensical policies intentionally put into place to run America into the ground. President Trump is going to make America great again.
But Yotivation, man, the mean tweets. The mean tweets, man. I mean, what about the mean tweets? I mean, who cares about how great the economy is? Who cares about, that we're safe and secure and our borders are secure? I mean, he makes mean tweets. Come on. Don't you get that?
You know what he said? He is going to lower taxes again so he can get our economy humming. And he is a very successful businessman who understands the economy. So I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yotivation, here's something he said that I think would be right up your alley as well as mine and probably CS's as well, is recently, and I've downloaded it. It was from one of his rallies. He said, hey, these people want global government because that's what they want. They really want it. They want, believe it or not, they want global government. And I've never heard a president maybe I've heard somebody running for president say that, but I've never heard a real president say that there are forces that want a global government. So he's basically letting people know what's going on at a level that no president has ever done before. And yes, they do want world government. It's called a liberal world order. It used to be called the New World Order. Now it's the liberal world order, and it is their utopia, which is our dystopia. Don't ever forget that, liberals. They want to enslave you.
Yeah. And it's in your face, right? If you really go out there and start looking around for this stuff, it's in your face. The World Economic Forum has a forum on their site. And if you start going through the articles on that forum, it lays all this stuff out and it tells you, yes. I was listening to Alex Jones talk the other day with
Tucker?
Was it Tucker? Yeah. He said, how do you know this stuff? He's like, you always seem like you're like 5 years ahead of what's going on. How do you know this stuff? And he's like, well, I just go read their stuff.
Yeah.
I read what they put out. I watch their videos, their conferences. I watch it. It's a 3-hour-long conference. I listen to it and watch it, and I go, holy crap, they're saying it. They say it.
Yeah,
they're not hiding it.
The real power brokers, the people that pull all the strings of all the nations, like Klaus Schwab, and he even admits that they do this kind of thing, that they own half of the parliament and they own half of, different nations' Congress and that kind of thing. They basically are controlling world affairs to a degree that we have no idea. That's why they form these groups, is so that they could basically bring people in from different nations, train them, and then put them in place to where they would, push their agenda.
Yup. No, we don't want that. America is America. This new world order, this liberal world order, is not going to be very liberal at all. It's going to be communism, in-your-face communism.
Minimalism. It's going to be minimalism. You're going to have minimal everything, minimal freedoms, minimal prosperity, minimal travel, mobility, you name it.
Oh, yeah. They don't want you in these combustible cars, the ICE, internal combustion engine. They don't want that. They want everybody in the electric one. Why? Well, it's not about the environment, folks. It's about control. Control. They can shut that thing down. They can control your energy usage. They can say to everybody, you're charging up, hey, man, peak hours, you can only charge to 50%. Okay, well, now you only have 50% range. So you are this weekend, not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have the electricity to do it by design.
Yeah, and the whole world government thing is something that they really try to censor. I remember YouTube, whenever some people were posting on the World Government Summit meeting that was happening, and it's all part of the WEF, the Davos, and all that. Same thing. It was actually called. I forget what year it was, but 2021 or 2022, one of those years. It said, and actually right behind them, it said World Government Summit meeting. And then down below in the YouTube fact checking, it said the New World Order, world government, is a conspiracy theory. Even though right behind them in large letters, it says World Government Summit. That's exactly what they're meeting about.
Exactly. The COP28 thing that they just did.
Oh, yeah. That's
I saw
the same
Al
stuff.
Gore going off on that because apparently the UAE, who hosted it, just really hosted it as a way to cut a bunch of oil deals with everyone that was there. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they cut all these big deals to give everybody all the oil they need. And even now, people are starting to realize, even in COP28, there's a sentiment down there that it's going to be at least like 50 more years before we get anywhere close to zero emission in the best case scenario. And that's not a bad. We just had those 1,600 scientists come out a couple of months back and say, hey, yeah, there is some global warming, but it's nowhere near the fear factor, the levels that they're telling you it is. We don't need to take these extreme, crazy positions of eliminating everything overnight. We can ease into this thing in such a way that our free economy can come up with the solutions that will make sense. It's just a matter of time before somebody makes that invention into a nuclear power plants that makes them completely safe and clean, 100% green. And we can start really putting those out there safely all over the country. If we don't have a push right now to put nuclear power in every state, 2 new plants in every single state, ASAP, then you're not serious about electric vehicles. You're not serious about electric cars, getting rid of gas stoves. You're not serious about any of that unless you're willing to put in massive investment into our infrastructure for energy in this country.
Well, I think it's all a hoax, man. I mean, look, It's not just clean CO2, which is not a toxin and isn't a problem. It's nitrogen, it's methane. I mean, there was an article that the leftists put out recently about how your breath is now a problem.
Yeah, breathing.
I mean, folks,
breathing.
listen, man. It is a hoax in control. We've had higher carbon levels before than we have now. It's been on a dip for a long time. It's had a little bit of a spike recently, like over the last 100 years or whatever. But we're talking a little spike, man. It's not a problem. And they're making it a problem. And look, if they have global warming, they have another crisis. They would create a crisis with plagues and viruses. And that's why they've kind of doing the plague and virus thing, because they want to have a backup plan, because not everybody's buying it anymore, right? John Kerry was saying people aren't believing it. You know, we got to stop the misinformation. Al Gore was saying, you know, because buddy, and the polls actually show. The polls have actually showed, the recent polls show that nobody believes, the mass majority does not believe in the hoax, as I like to call it. So we're the majority. They're going to push it through authoritarian means because we're not going to go along with it, or they're going to do another crisis, another major catastrophe similar, or they might try them both just to try to, you know, take more control. They might bring in the cyber pandemic. They might bring in the cyber pandemic that Klaus Schwab talked about, that he said would happen for certain by 2024. And maybe he said even in 2023, that white paper that Bill Gates wrote for, you know, all these globalists and stuff that he was a co-sponsor of. They say that I posted that on social media. Right now we have that movie that Barack Obama produced called Leave the World Behind. And it's all about a cyber attack that causes mass chaos. Yes. So they're preparing you, predictive programming you to accept it when it happens, because they want you to believe that this is a reality, when in reality, they're either going to let it happen and happen on purpose or make it happen on purpose. That's my opinion.
And we're ramping.
You can disagree.
We're ramping up into that cyber attacks right now. We're starting to see more and more of them. You will see more and more of them as the year goes on. And that's why everyone needs to have cash on hand. You're going to need to have cash. You're going to want to have gold, silver on hand in case it really hits the fan. Because, I mean, imagine walking into the store and they say, well, you know, your bank's down. You know, no credit. We're not taking any credit cards today. Well, I need groceries. Well, you know, no credit cards. You have cash? No. Well, okay, come back tomorrow. You go back tomorrow and you go to your bank, and your bank is like, yeah, we're down for the foreseeable future. So is every other bank. You know, it gets ugly really fast when most people haven't even seen a dollar bill, let alone put one in their pocket in, you know, years. You know, motivation, how much cash do you use?
I use cash all the time. Because I feel this, I don't want cash to go. I don't want a cashless society. So I use, and I also don't want the government to know all of my purchases. So I use cash faithfully. I pay bills with a paper check, and I send it through the mailbox.
You do it the old-fashioned way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Man, that's archaic.
Well, that's what you have to do. I've decided that the cost of freedom is
sacrifice.
Yeah, you have to be willing to sacrifice.
Yes.
It's not free. That is for sure. Inconvenience.
And the little things add up. You know, just like the other day I was at the grocery store, and me and my friend, there was like 3 or 4 open spaces to self-checkout. And we decided to wait in the line, and we were like the 4th or 5th person back in line, because we want to support people having work. You know what I'm saying? And then the person in front of us, she said, yeah, that's why I'm in line, is because she goes, I believe in unions, and I believe in, you know, supporting the right to work, right, and have jobs and have opportunity and stuff. And then I told her a little bit about how Wendy's was now going to the AI drive-through, and eventually, of course, it'll probably be all cashiers at some point. You won't even see a person. You'll just go up there and you'll tap stuff in or whatever. Or maybe they'll have a robot.
I'm hearing Walmart. I'm hearing Walmart is moving away from the self-checkout and going back to, you know, people working cash register, because they're getting so much slippage, as they call it, where, you know, you scan every other item, you know.
Right.
Or just a lot of that, where they have to spend enough time stopping people on the way out.
Yeah, it's costing more.
Hey, man, hey, push that button right there, man. Hey, we got dialed into the show, man. We got dialed in.
Really?
Yeah, hey, can y'all hear me? Hey.
Yeah, you're on the radio.
Yeah.
How you doing, Willie?
Hey, shoot, hey, I ran long, man. I ran long. Hey, I was just doing the Willie's Worm Farm Roundtable Radio Show in association with Drake and Gus Productions, man. Hey, I shoot, hey, I didn't mean to. Yeah, how y'all fellas doing tonight?
I'm not doing very well, man. You're late, first of all. And second of all, I told you years ago, I don't like you in your show exactly like my show. Okay? Come up with a unique name. And don't even get me started on this Drake and Gus garbage. Don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, I know we ain't got a whole lot of time, man. Hey, look at here. I just want to throw something out there for y'all, man. Hey, just real quick, like, doggone, man. Hey, shoot, hey, and for all y'all out there that don't know, this here is Willie Lee, and I run Willie's Worm Farm down in Waldo, Florida. And Willie's Cricket Emporium up here in Sandy Run, South Carolina, man. Hey, we got endeavors, we got stuff that we got going on and everything out there. Hey, y'all got a Yotivation Nation there? Hey, come, please say you got her there.
Hi, Willie.
Yeah, I love you. I doggone. Hi, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm happy to hear you were able to join us.
Yeah. Like I said, I know it's just real brief, like, man. And I want to do a shout out to that Mark and that Yo Rizzo and Josh who, man. Hey, and that Bullhorn Barry, man. Hey, Bullhorn Barry. Hey, real quick, man. I got a question for you, man. Hey, hi. Hey, I got a question for you. Why is it that you can't hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? I'll tell you why. Because the P is silent. I know. I come up with some ideas, man. I've been studying up on crematoriums and stuff, man. They got away what they do with crematoriums, man. Where when somebody passes away, bless their souls and RIPs and all that. And I ain't trying to make fun of nothing, but you know what? Hey, you ever thought about what happens, man? What they do with people when they got pacemakers? And they got pins in their knees and their legs and stuff like that, man. And what happens to all that junk iron? Hey, that's what it is junk iron inside of folks, man. Hey, they got to get that stuff out of them before they burn them. Hey, and they got somebody comes along and gets that stuff out of folks, man. Hey, it's junk iron, like gold teeth and stuff like that. When you get Mama, hey, when Mama comes back, your ashes and all that, you don't see them gold teeth and the rings and the pins and the staples and stuff they got, man. Hey, it's junk iron inside of folks. And you can take that junk iron and recycle it, man. Hey, and that's what I'm. Hey, that's
Willie.
What?
Willie, you got here a little late tonight, so let's hold you over for the next segment. Okay, we got to go to break right now, but let's hold you over, and when we come back, I'll let you ramble for a little bit. Okay?
No, but
folks, we're gonna go to break. We'll be right back after.
All right, we're on radio break.
Yeah, I was just going to give you the next half hour. I was just going to switch the blocks with you.
I was just waiting for you to go to the quarter till part. Or 20 till?
Huh?
I was just waiting for you to go to 20 till. Since you came in late.
No, I got locked out of Skype and I had to figure out a whole bunch of mess with my email and password and all kind of crap.
Me too, Willie.
Okay.
I don't know why. But anyway.
And guess what? I was late too, Willie.
Well, shame on you. It's okay to be late. Shame on you.
You almost sound like you got a little cold, Willie.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like I was reading about this whole long COVID and long flu, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I've been sick for a while. I mean, I'm better now. But man, this thing is hanging on. It's like sinus infections, but it's not. It doesn't have a fever that comes along with it, but it's congestion and sinuses, and I don't know.
Before the COVID even struck, it was in the news too, man. That people were having the common flu that were lasting months. Yeah. And I was listening to one guy when I was getting checked out with my doctor. Just sitting there, and he was talking about how I've had this thing for months and I can't get rid of it. So I think they've had these kind of viruses floating around for a while.
You know what? You can call me what you want to, but I think it's got a lot to do with them chemtrails too.
Oh, I mean, I have no doubt that chemtrails are dangerous and bad for. That's why you got to detox, you got to exercise, you got to sweat, you got to fight back, man. Otherwise, you put your life at risk of dying prematurely.
Right.
And look,
Really?
the mortality rate is going backwards. And think about how insane that is when we have all the knowledge we do about health and wellness and food and medicine and surgery.
Yeah.
We should longer each year. In fact, before it started turning in the negative sense, Japan was getting ready to go. They were saying that women are going to live to be 100. This was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, because Japan has the long life, in the whole world overall, or first or second, one or the other. And like the women live to be 94 on average, and the men live to be 89 on average. That's the average, like 94 for a woman.
Speaking of 100, Henry Kissinger just died, right? And
he was
100
dead
years old.
like 20 years ago, man. A lot of these people.
You know what? And that's what I thought too. Didn't he die like 20 years ago twice?
Well, I'm not talking Mandela effect. I just mean, dude, they're alive, but it's like, like Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney is alive, but he doesn't have a pulse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He literally does not have a
He
pulse.
hasn't had one in 20 years, 40
It's
years.
just like I saw a guy the other day talking about Biden and how Biden's not real. Biden died a long time ago.
Well, that's what this guy. I was listening to him on Rumble. He had 12,000 likes, and he gets like 1 million or 2 people watching him every time he posts. And he was talking about, and I don't believe it at all. I think it's hogwash. But he's entitled to his opinion, and I definitely like to listen to all points of view. But he was talking about, we all know that's not Biden, and we know that Hillary Clinton is dead. And I'm like,
Right.
dude, where are you getting this information? Just prove it to me. I'm not going to believe it unless there's some really hardcore evidence. And there's some weird anomalies with Biden, like he looks different. But I went and did my own research. You can go back. He looks the way he did right now back in 2016. He looked scary in 2016. It was around 2015 and 2014 that he looked more like kind of the Steven Seagal, Joe Biden that we know. But he also had brain surgery. I don't remember what year that happened. So that might have been where he started deteriorating and looking differently. He also might have had face surgery. He definitely had some kind of surgery because he used to have a whole lot more wrinkles than he has now.
But I mean, when you talk about proof, what would be proof to you?
I would need stronger evidence. I saw the video with his neck and his skin stuck, and I thought it was weird. I really did.
Yeah.
Maybe I could buy that he's wearing a mask or somebody's wearing a mask because they do have double masks. That's a well-known thing. The CIA did tech talks on it, and they said it's very, very convincing. And this was like 15 years ago, and it even fooled the president. They said that was 15 years ago. So imagine where they have the technology now. But he's also old, and people have elastic skin as they get older. Some people have like the people that they can stretch their skin. I mean, there's other logical explanations. I would need to see something that would be very convincing before I would sincerely entertain the idea that Biden is dead, Hillary's dead. They even say Obama's dead. He went to Guantanamo. I mean, clearly Obama is still doing active work.
Who's that Peter Ducey?
His chef didn't kill himself,
Who's that Peter Ducey called Biden the other day? And it was like it was an accident, but
It's not an accident. Yeah, he is a Biden.
How do I turn these notifications off again?
Settings.
Yeah, where is that?
The 3 dots at the top right.
Oh, okay.
One of the other theories you hear a lot is they're clones. And I find that hard to believe, too, because that means they're cloning humans, that are old. They can clone. I mean, I don't know that technology exists. I've never seen it. It could, maybe it does, but I'm just saying, in order for me to believe it, I would need some kind of evidence that would be convincing. Like, okay, there's a place in China. They said, yeah, we're cloning people, and we can clone them.
30 seconds, folks.
Not at a fetus, but at 60 or 50, and then implant
right.
memories into them.
I'm trying to think of the dumbest question I can ask Willie to get this thing rolling.
Ask him if Biden is a clone.
Biden.
I think I want to ask you about your trip down to Antarctica.
And get ready for the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome back to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Round Table Radio Show Sunday night edition, where we've got with us the one and only Willie Lee from Waldo, Florida, and Sandy Run, South Carolina. How are you doing, Willie?
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, hello, everybody out there in radio land. Hi, Doc. Hi, it's a pleasure to be. I've messed around with aliens, and I got here late, man. Hey, spaceships all over the place. Hey, y'all seen them? Hey, I seen them. Hey, and I went down to Antarctica. Hey, this past week. Hey, I went down there to the ice wall. Yeah. No. Hey.
Okay. All right.
No. Yeah, no, hey, I tried to get past the ice wall, man, and they had helicopters and stuff started flying over, and they was on bullhorns, and hi, bullhorn Barry, hi, dog, hi, no, but hey, they was announcing that they was gonna shoot our boat out of the water and all kind of stuff, man. We turned around, we went back down to South America, and then that's where I have my submarine park. Hi, dog, we was gonna take the submarine back down there, because they got places down there in that ice wall. If y'all don't know, man, y'all can get through there, and they got great big octopuses.
All
right. Yeah. No.
All right. Yeah, okay, so this ice wall is part of the flat Earth theory, right? You're talking about flat Earth theory?
Yeah.
No, he's talking about hollow Earth.
Yeah, no. Here, hey, the thing is the Earth ain't flat, man. Hey, but it's bigger than what they're telling us it is. There's like other lands and stuff, man, beyond the ice, and it's like, if you think about like a soccer ball, and you think about one of them patches on the soccer. Well, one of them patches is our continents, man. Our Asia and North America and all our land mass that we know of. Hey, that's like one strip on the soccer ball, and then the other spots on the soccer ball is like other lands, man.
So, but we've been to space, right, Willie?
Rocket juice, man. Hey.
We've been to outer space, and we look back. You go into outer space, you turn around, you look at the Earth, and you can see.
No, hey,
it's a globe.
It ain't real. No, it ain't real. Hey, now look at him. Y'all been deceived, man. Hey, and I was listening in to the show a while ago, man, and y'all was talking about that movie that come out, that End of Time movie or whatever it was. Hey, and there's a lot of stuff in there, man, and it tells you about what all's going. Hey, y'all seen? Hey, did y'all notice? Look at him. Hey, I've been studying up on it. I looked at that movie, and that movie was like produced by one of them Obama folks, man, and what they doing, man, is now I heard that Bullhorn Barry some kind of predictive programming and how they going to tell us about what's going on and everything ahead of time and how the bridges are going to be closed and everybody ain't going to be able to go where they want to go and all this other kind of stuff, man. And the one boy, he had Obey wrote on his shirt, man. Y'all seen it. It was there in broad daylight, man. He had Obey wrote on his shirt, man. And right next to him was his sister or whatever. And she had NASA wrote on her shirt. They were standing there side by side, and you could read it. And his shirt said Obey, and her shirt said NASA, and so what that was the signal, a sign that was saying Obey NASA, and I've been studying up on it, man. Hey, y'all might think I'm dumb and all that, man. Hey, but I'm smart sometimes. And that NASA, hey, it means lies. Lies in the Hebrew language. It's another kind of language they got, and these people, they speak Hebrew. Yeah, no, hey, and in Hebrew, NASA means lies. So what he was saying, the subliminal, the message behind it all was obey NASA. Hey, that's what I put together, man.
Obey lies. Yeah,
obey lies, right. and that's what they want us to get. No, hey.
Wouldn't Elon Musk come out and be like, hey, I've got real photos of the Earth? We've been there, we look back, and this is what it really looks like? Jeff Bezos all these guys have been up there, I mean, how many of these millionaires have been able to get these shots on these spaceships to go up in space for like an hour at a time,
No, man. Hey, they can't get far out, man, because everything that you see, what they call the big blue marble and all that, and they say that's the Earth, man. Hey, but it ain't, because what it is, it's layered, man. It's all CGI and stuff that they put together that ain't really true, man.
CGI.
Yeah. GCI, CG. Yeah. What you said, man. Hey, but you got to look at everything, the symbols of everything. Hey, just like that. I know what the name of it was called. Leave the World Behind. And like, hey, did y'all see? No, hey, did y'all see? So the girl, hey, man, she walks into the house, and I wasn't going to talk about all this. I want to talk about something else, man. Hey, but she walks into the house, and she went into what they call the Thorns house, and the Thorns was wrote on the front door, and the Thorns is supposed to be symbolizing the crown of thorns worn by Jesus Christ, man. Hey, and Jesus Christ, hey, and I ain't going to get all religious and everything, but I'm going to tell y'all something right now. I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus Christ, and he's my Lord and Savior. A lot of folks out there don't believe that, man. Hey, but it's the truth. And hey, in this movie, what it was is she went into this house called the Thorns, and it had a red door, and that represented her salvation, man. It's all of our salvation is what it boils down to. Hey, and there was something else too, man. I can't think of what it was. There was something written on the inside of that door. Hey, no, hey, I'll tell y'all. Here's what. Hey, y'all remember at the beginning of that movie? Y'all remember that big old tanker? That tanker, man. Hey, the tanker was called the White Lion. Hey, did y'all research that, man? Y'all look at all the symbolism and everything that goes on in that movie? Yeah, no, hey, the White Lion. Research the White Lion. That was the name of that tanker. Hey, and the White Lion, what that does, man, is that represents, it was a slave ship back in the year, I studied up on it, back in 1616, there was a slave ship, and it was like the first slave ship that came over from Africa or wherever it was, man, that supposedly it had a bunch of slaves on it, and the name of that ship was the White Lion, and that White Lion, that was symbolizing how America is built on slavery, and that was the beginning of our demise, man. I didn't hear nobody say that. That's the only thing I could think of, because I went and I looked and tried to see what the White Lion was, and y'all can research it, man. The White Lion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to take your word for it. But you said you wanted to talk about something else too. What else did you have in mind?
Yeah, no, man. Hey, I was talking earlier about my enterprise, man. I got an enterprise going.
Yeah.
Hey, I go down to the crematorium, man. Hey, and I get parts. I get parts off of dead people, man.
Willie.
Hey, they cremate these folks, man, and they got their pacemakers and their hip joints and staples and stuff, and any gold teeth, man. Hey, yeah, you make a lot of money by going to the crematorium, the junk iron, man. Hey, you take that stuff and sell it. Look, hey, y'all ever thought about that? What happens whenever they cremate you, man? Hey, they can't cremate no pacemaker, man, because that thing will blow up, is what they said. And they all kind of people that's got junk iron in them when they die, and they got to do something with that junk iron, because that junk iron. Hey, I read an article, man. This ain't no lie. Hey, I sent it.
Iron.
Yeah, no. Hey, yeah, this guy, man. Yeah, he got his grandmama. His grandmama had a hip pin. He got his grandmama's hip pin after she died, and he made him a gear shifter out of it. Go. Hey, that's smart, man. He got him a gear shifter made out of grandma's pin. Hey, man, you got to have ideas, man. Hey, Aunt Mama Lou, I was talking to Aunt Mama. Hey, look at here. Y'all get Aunt Mama Lou on the phone. Hey, she'll tell y'all about it. Hey, call her up here.
Patch right here.
Yeah. See if you can patch Aunt Mama Lou in.
Yeah, I got her. She's right here. Aunt Mama Lou, you there?
Hey, Aunt
Hello.
Mama.
Hello.
Hey, tell them about that great. Hey, Aunt Mama Lou come up with that idea. She was talking about what happens to people when they get cremated and all their stuff and everything, their body, but their pins and pacemakers and all that kind of stuff. Hey, and you can actually, some of that stuff they take out before they set them on fire, and you can take it and recycle it and sell it back to the hospitals too, man.
Yeah, that's right. There's lots of money be made in there. Remember that boy? He took that pin of his grandmammy and turn it into a stick shifter.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do creative things. A lot of people take the ashes, but why just take the ashes when you can get the junk iron?
You got to have ideas, all right? Come on.
Junk
That's right, honey.
iron. Don't they use like plutonium or like, you know, I don't know, not plutonium, but
Titanium.
if they're going to put needles.
Titanium.
Titanium, sure, yeah. And by the way, wouldn't they just burn them and then like you kind of filter it through there, and then all that stuff that's left over would just be on a filter there, like any metal?
Yeah, but no, hey, I studied.
I mean, they don't.
Yeah, not hey.
Do they really go in and remove all that stuff from you before they cremate you, or wouldn't that just take too much time and be too hard?
Hey, they remove the big stuff, man. Hey, I studied up on it, and then they put you in a box and they put you in the crematorium, man. Hey, and then you got a bunch of big parts, and they gotta take that, and then they put it into a sifter, like a grinder, that actually turns it all into the ashes, man. Yeah, hey, and then they got a magnet or whatever, and they go through and get all the metal out, man. Hey, it's what they call an interesting process, man.
I guess, and I would think most family members wouldn't think to say, "Hey, you know, my uncle has this much titanium in him. Can I get that back and sell it in the scrap market?" I mean,
man.
Probably the last thing on your mind at that point.
Yeah, no, hey, they do it, man. Tell them about it, Mama Lou.
Well, that's right. They say all kind of things you won't even know. Some of the things they sell on the black market, honey. This ain't really that strange. People's just, cashing in. That's all.
There's a lot of money in gold teeth, man.
Living in this bad inflation, people got to do what they got to do.
Yeah. The gold teeth, man, though, hey, they hard to come by because, hey, it's true story, man. They get a dentist, hey, and the dentist comes down there and snatches the gold teeth out for the crematorium.
I mean, I see it. There's a lot of money in that. It's why not, right? And gold is, going to melt pretty quick, and I guess I don't know, man. It's just I've never heard of that. It sounds kind of immoral. I don't know, Barry. You're kind of the moral and religious expert in the group here. Do you find that immoral, or would you be willing to sign up?
I mean, it sounds pretty sketchy, man. Sounds pretty sketchy.
Well, it's just the times that we living in. Desperate times call for desperate measures. It ain't, you ain't proud of it, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
I will say it's a step up big time from last week when Willie said he was going around the graveyards with a metal detector.
No, man.
Really?
Yeah, no. Hey, I told y'all I done studied up on it, man. Hey, whenever they go to that cream to get set on fire, man. Hey, the temperature of the furnace, man. Hey, it's 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, but it takes 1,947 degrees to melt gold. And titanium, man, to melt the titanium, it takes 3,034 degrees, and steel is 2,000. So the furnace ain't hot enough, man. It ain't hot enough to burn all that metal and stuff, but they got to do some of that metal. If y'all think about it, man, hey, there's a lot of money in human junk iron, man. A lot of humans out there got junk iron in them.
Willie, you sound like you've been using your smarticles.
My smarticles. I got a noggin about me every now and then. Come on.
I can't do it now, but I'm going to go into replay and I'm going to look up those temperatures. And if you nailed all those to the actual degree, I will be very impressed.
Yeah, no, man. Hey, I studied up on it, man. Yeah, and just like that ship, man. Hey, I studied up on it too. Y'all look it up, man. 1619 was the ship, the White Lion. There was a white line, the oil tanker. That was the name of it, man. And it was connecting what they call a theme of omens, man. Hey, this gonna be my claim to fame, is knowing stuff about stuff that nobody else knows about, man. Hey, because up to now, man, hey, y'all know my claim to fame up to now. Yeah, no, hey, I got a great granddaddy. He's buried in the same graveyard as Jackie Robinson, man. Jackie Robinson, he buried in the graveyard up there in New York, and my great granddaddy, he was killed by them Yankees. Hey, this ain't no lie. Hey, this true story, man. And he buried in the same graveyard as Jackie Robinson, man. Hey, because I tell you something else, man. Hey, and I'm trying to make some money. Hey, I'm selling autographs, man. Hey, I got an autograph of Elvis Presley, his gardener's son, man. Hey, his gardener's son.
Elvis Presley? Wait, his gardener's son got you the autograph of Elvis Presley?
No, I got the autograph of Elvis Presley's gardener's son. His name was Myron. Myron Eugene Gonzalez. And I don't know why Myron and Eugene. Yeah, that's his name, Myron Eugene Gonzalez. His daddy was Mexican.
Who wants that? Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, hey, it's famous, man. It's a link. Hey, because what I also got in the hey, I met him and I got his autograph, and he also gave me a bag, man. Hey, this ain't no lie. He gave me a bag of grass, Elvis Presley's lawn clippings, man. Because when his daddy was doing gardening work in the Graceland, man, he raked up a bunch of that stuff. Yeah, no, hey, this is actual.
I guarantee that you and I go to Las Vegas and we talk to Rick Harrison, and you say you've got Elvis's.
Yeah.
What is Gardner's son's signature? And then grass. You realize that Graceland today has grass growing, and every week or so they go out and mow it, and so they get garbage bags full of that stuff every single week for the last 100 years.
Yeah, but no, hey,
it's worthless, Willie.
Yeah, no, it ain't worthless, man. Hey, this is from the 1970s, man. Elvis Presley, he was still alive back then.
I just can't imagine lawn clippings from Graceland are worth anything.
Yeah, but hey, look at him, man. Hey, I want to talk about something else, man. Y'all getting me sidetracked. Hey, I heard, man, that there was one of the group Kiss, man, the band Kiss. They dressed up in a whole bunch of black makeup and stuff, man. Hey, I heard that one of their singers, man, Kiss singer died at the age of 100, man. I heard about that. I didn't know them. I didn't know they had a singer that was that old, man.
No, Kissinger.
Kiss
he was a political guy. Kissinger, not part of the band Kiss. Those guys are nowhere near 100 years old. You're thinking of Kissinger, Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, I read an article, man. No. It said Kissinger, a Kiss singer died at the age of 100.
You're thinking of Henry Kissinger, who was a noted diplomat and politician and whatnot through the last 100 years. Yeah, he's 100 years old. He's been.
The Kiss people can't ever die. They've been immortalized. They've been digitized, man. Come on, don't you know anything?
Hey,
they've been digitized, baby.
Immortalized. I went a big old fancy words. I had to look that one up. Go, man.
No, seriously, they've been digitized for real. So they're never gonna die. They think.
Yeah.
They gonna turn into what they call one of them NFTs, man.
Or AI.
They're gonna capture their consciousness is what they're gonna do, so they can look at them in the future and they can know everything they thought about when they was alive.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of AI, did you guys see that AI from Microsoft? I think it was. It said all the conservatives need to be put to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robbie Starbuck, right?
Hey, that's just like that Sophie the robot, man. Hey, I seen where she wants to destroy all of humanity, man. Hey, and I thought there was something wrote up where it said all robots had to be nice to humans.
Not conservative.
Well, that was
not conservative.
Yeah,
Christians.
Humans, not conservatives. Yeah, humans.
Yeah, but
they're animals. Don't you know anything? Come on, they're animals.
Hey, here's what I want to know. Hey, I know y'all got the inside scoop, man, and Rizzo ain't there. Bullhorn there though. Hey, Bullhorn Barry, here's what I want to know. Hey, shoot it to me straight, man. Is Tucker Carlson gonna be the vice president running with Donald Trump?
I think it's a possibility. I think it's a real possibility.
Yeah, hey, man, I'm telling y'all what, man. If that happens, Donald Trump is a shoe-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tuckerson did respond to the fact that Trump had kind of said he would consider him as vice president. He said he's not political, doesn't want to be in the political arena, but that he would pray about it, and that if God were to give him a strong nudge, he might do it.
But
I heard it was Melania that really wanted Tucker in there.
Yes,
Melania.
I think that's what I've heard as well.
Hey, if I was going to choose anybody to be vice president with Trump, it'd be one of three people. Hey, man, for real. Hey, it'd be Censorship Sucks, Bullhorn Barry, or Tucker Carlson, man. Hey, cause y'all all about equally smart, man.
Well, what about Yotivation?
You wouldn't put Yotivation
Nation,
on that list.
Yeah, I think maybe Speaker of the House because she's just so prolific with her words.
Yeah, she's under. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Yotivation Nation. I'm gonna tell y'all something that y'all didn't know. Y'all probably knew, but you didn't know that you knew or forgot that you knew, man. Hey, but Yotivation Nation, hey, I know her. She undercover, man. Hey, she's undercover. Hey, she got the lowdown. Hey, and you know what? Hey, I'd vote for her to be a part of Donald Trump's cabinet, man. Hey, cause you talking about somebody that knows something, man. Hey, she knows everything that goes on behind the scenes, man.
Yeah. She can't run though because she's a white hat.
Yeah.
A white hat?
That's right. A deep undercover white hat operative.
Okay.
For
one of the good guys.
For the Freedom Deep State.
Mm-hmm.
Get him.
No, hey,
Again, I'm learning stuff I never knew. Are you too, Yotivation? I bet.
Well, we're not supposed to disclose that information, but we're getting close to the election, so we can let a little bit out, as we get closer.
Hey, I seen you. Hey, y'all don't take this wrong, man. I seen Yotivation Nation on the internet. Doggone. Hey, but she going by aliases and stuff, man. Hey, and she undercover and she telling it like it is, man. Hey, she is single-handedly taking down the cabal in the deep state. Hey, just about all by her daggum self, man. There's that word again. I can't say that word.
Oh, yeah, she is, man. For real.
You guys.
Yotivation, we need to talk about this. I had no idea.
Well, I will say I have been in this fight since President Trump came down the escalator. I have vehemently supported him. You already know that.
Yeah. Now, Willie, you missed Carrie Lake in your list. Carrie Lake, I think, would be a real good vice president.
Yeah, Carrie who? Doggone. Yeah, no. Hey, here's what I want to know, man. Hey, that Giuliani, man, that he used to be mayor of New York and he was a lawyer and everything. Hey, they told him.
Giuliani.
Giuliani. Yeah, man. Hey, he got to pay $150 million, man, in what they call a defamation lawsuit, man. Hey, but then they come out and found out that he was right, that he wasn't defaming nobody at all, man. But it's like the truth don't matter.
It does not matter. I will give you that. That is that amount of money is such a joke that it represents what a joke the trial was. Right, it's all tied together. And I'll tell you, Katie Hobbs, the actual governor of Arizona, just called the National Guard down to defend the border with Mexico. They had to shut down a port of entry. I think it's Lukeville. It shut it down completely because there's too many people coming over that border. Even Katie Hobbs is out there defending it now.
Yeah, Democrats are upset because Biden is negotiating with the GOP on the border.
Yeah, and Eric Adams from New York went down there to try to get some money from Washington, D.C., and they sent him packing. I don't think he even got one meeting.
Man, hey, they got thousands, man. 1,000, and it ain't just like people from Mexico or Guatemala or hey, it's Chinese people, Iraqi people, Afghanistani people, and people coming in from over in Africa and Iranian people, man. Hey, they got them on video. Hey, I got the proof positive on it all, man. I got the evidence, man. They got all these people.
You shared a video with me the other day of all those Chinese nationals coming in here.
Yeah, man. Hey, and now they all over the radio now talking about cyber attacks and stuff, and how our electrical grid and our water systems and everything is going to be hacked. And hey, we looking. Hey, I don't. Hey, that's the thing about the internet, man. You don't know what's true and what. It's like who's cheating who and who's being true and who don't even care anymore, man. Hey, you don't know what to believe, man. Hey, but I seen all kind of stuff where they talking about electrical grids going down and how these people are infiltrating our governments and our water systems and our power companies, and all kind of stuff going on, man.
Yeah, the mainstream media, MSN.com, reported, I think it was about a week ago, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services. And they were talking about how the Chinese was attempting to compromise critical infrastructure, in part to preposition themselves to be able to disrupt critical infrastructure in the event of a conflict, either prevent the United States from being able to project power into Asia or to cause societal chaos inside the United States. So they're already preparing the masses for a potential.
Hey, y'all
Which
listen.
telling everybody to have some cash in your pocket, have some money sitting around, have some gold, some silver. Because I'll tell you, that money that you got, that money you got is going to be worthless. If you even if you got $1,000 and you go down to get some milk and it's $100 a gallon, at least gold and silver is going to go up in value, and it might actually still buy you some value. But Willie, we are out of time. We're flat out of time. We got to end the show right here. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Thanks for listening. We're going to end it right here. We'll see you on Wednesday night.
Willie.
All right, stick around, folks. Big shout out to My Nickel and Adam Bombs for joining the chat and
What's up, guys?
Oh yeah,
that's two of my favorite people, Adam and Mine Cow. Hey, but not. Hey, seriously, man. Hey, that gold and silver ain't gonna be worth a damn when everything goes to hell and back. So what you gonna have a gold coin, and that gold coin is $1,000 an ounce or $2,000 an ounce, and you need a loaf of bread. You're gonna hand that to somebody, and what they gonna give you back for change? Now, what you need, you're gonna need like those little bottles of airline whiskey that they give you on the airlines. You're gonna need stuff to trade and barter. You're gonna need that.
I was gonna say trading and barter will probably be pretty important during that time.
Yep, not gold and silver, man, unless you can find a damn coin that's worth $1 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you're gonna want things like cigarettes. You're gonna want whiskey. You're gonna want Fix-A-Dent, because a lot of people ain't got no teeth, man. They do all kind of stuff. Get a tube of
ammo.
Yeah, plenty of ammo. But the thing about ammo is you're gonna need that for yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to trade that.
But yeah, no, I would not go with gold or silver. I mean, people talks about it all the time, but I mean, realistically, what are you going to do? What's the smallest increment of gold coin